Ladies and gentlemen, earlier this week, the NFL family lost one of the legends of the game. Please stand and join the Cowboys and Titans in a moment of silence to honor the memory of Johnny Unitas, a quarterback for all time who brought glamour and popularity to pro football. Thank you.
Randy Cross, he indeed was one of the best that ever played.
It's not overstating to say he established the modern game probably in the place it's at. A lot of guys owe a lot to him. Our two quarterbacks on the NFL today, Boomer and Dan, my old quarterback, Joe Marino, Jim Kelly, the current greats I think we have playing right now that'll eventually rank right up there past those guys statistically. I think it all can be traced back to Johnny.
Mike Knorr will kick it off for the Dallas Cowboys. Last season, 4 touchbacks, as you saw. And deep back, rookie free agent John Simon and Eddie Berlin. 2 young players back there, the Cowboys and the Titans. An important game for both, especially Dallas, after last week's game in Houston. And here we go at Rockin' Texas Stadium. A couple yards deep, Simon will take it out. And with the beat on him and a great special teams tackle is rookie Derek Ross out of Ohio State. 19-yard return, and downstairs we go to Beasley Reese.
All right, thanks a lot, Kevin. The quarterback, Steve McNair, prepares to take the snap now. He's probably the happiest guy on the field. He's completely healthy. A big change from last season. Last year he had the bad back, the bad shoulder. He is completely healthy now, and through it all, he managed to have a breakthrough year last year. It continued last week against Philly. We'll see if it continues here today. Back upstairs.
Randy, thank you from the 19-yard line. McNair, first down and 10. Game's first play. A little play action by McNair. Here they come, and he throws it off to the tight end, Frank Wycheck, who hurdles the defender at the 25. That's Hawthorne, and flies out of bounds at the 26-yard line. It is a gain of 7 on the play. The confident Steve McNair, this line blocking for him. Hopkins, Pillar, DiNapoli, Olsen, and Fred Miller. All veterans, but no Bruce Matthews. That story later. Eddie George in the backfield with former Giant Greg Camilla, Mason and Dyson the receivers, and Wycheck just caught the pass, which gives Jeff Fisher, the Tennessee coach, 2nd down and 3, just at about his 26-yard line. The pitch out to George, a Camilla block, a Fred Miller block, a nice Dallas pursuit for a little gain on the play. Brandon Noble coming off the pile along with Keith Adams, who is starting at middle linebacker today for the injured Gat Wynn. Ellis Glover, Brandon Noble, one of the more underrated defensive linemen in the NFL, and Ekuban on the defensive line for Dallas. Linebackers, Keith Adams flanked by Kevin Hardy and Dexter Coakley, the 2-time Pro Bowler. In the secondary, Hawthorne and Edwards with Williams and Woodson at the safeties.
Mike Zimmer, the defensive coordinator at Dallas. His defense needs some emotion and some fire.
They're down and 2, the fake. Here comes the blitz by Dixon, and downfield goes McNair. Incomplete pass, aiming for Mason, but there was a blitz by Tony Dixon. Edwards was covering, and Dallas has forced the Titans to punt on their first possession.
Yeah, but Brian, I want the fans out there to pay attention to what Steve McNair just did on that series. The way he stepped up, flipped the ball to Frank Wycheck. The way he stepped up and avoided that blitz on that play. That's the kind of play that Jerry Jones and the Dallas Cowboys are looking for out of Quincy Carter. Can he have that poise and under fire?
Greg Hentrick to punt. Joey Galloway backpedals to about his 17. With a couple nice blocks. There he goes, one of the fastest in the NFL, and Joey Galloway. No yellow on the field. A 56-yard punt, a 22-yard return. And we'll get our first look at the Dallas Cowboy offense, led by young second-year Georgia Bulldog quarterback Quincy Carter.
He needs the poise and he needs protection. He could have sued his offensive line for non-support last week. He was 7 of 12 in passes he could stand in the pocket and throw. Otherwise, he was under constant attack. It's just not fair to a young guy to make him stand back there and get hit like that.
And there's not a lot of experience in back of him, too. Very young guys.
Young and younger.
Yep.
Not to be confused with Dumb and Dumber, but young and younger.
From the 38, first down and 10. Emmett is in the backfield, and Carter down the sideline, bobbled and dropped, looking for Galloway, covered and jousting with Samari Roll. Incomplete pass, second down and 10. The Dallas offensive line, the biggest in the NFL, about 340 is their average. Adams, Allen, with Gerard, Garman, and Solomon Page.
You're being nice.
Smith and Thomas
340.
with the wide receivers Bryant and Galloway, and the 10-year veteran Tony McGee at the tight end.
Those guys ate 340 for breakfast.
It's second down and 10 at the 38. They got the rookie Bryant on the move as Carter gives to Emmitt Smith. And piercing the 40. And a gain of 3 on the play up to the 41. Tennessee's defense is good. Carter, Thornton, Henry Ford, Javon Curse is out. They think maybe for the season. Carlos Hall is in there in his place. Sermon, Chamberlain, and Bullock. Randall Godfrey will not play today. Dyson along with Roll at the corners. Schulters and rookie Tank Williams are the safeties. Upcoming third down and 7 to go. Jim Schwartz, a very young defensive coordinator, downfield and incomplete. As they were looking for Kenyon Rambo. And like Tennessee before him, Dallas Cowboys have got a punt, 3 and out.
Neither one of those possessions, honestly, Kevin, are the kind of things you want to see out of these football teams. They both have got to be physical. Tennessee is guaranteed to run the ball and give you a steady dose of a healthy Eddie George. Dallas has got to feed the running game, feed Emmitt Smith, and take the pressure off the young quarterback Carter.
Mike Anor will punt inside his 30. With a high snap from Jeff Grau, the electrifying Derek Mason is inside the 20 for Tennessee. Hambrick's got a beat on him. Couple good blocks. A good one by Boyman. And dancing is Mason down the sideline. Then Hambrick knocked him out of bounds. The rookie Boyman out of Notre Dame with a nice block and frees up Mason with an 11-yard return on a 39-yard punt. And we are scoreless in Big D. That's Steve McNair. Passing on first down again outside for the fullback Craig Camilla, who's out of Stanford, a pickup of 2, second down and 8. Is there any particular matchup, Randy, you're going to watch offense of the Titans against the Dallas defense today?
Well, you know, it's probably not a classic matchup, but I had to pick 2 guys to keep an eye on. One would be Leroy Glover there, 97 for the Dallas Cowboys. Just about the finest defensive tackle in the game right now. Just has great work ethic, quick, strong. And Eddie George is back at halfback for the Tennessee Titans. Every helmet with a star on it for Dallas wants to hit him as hard, as early as possible.
Second down and 8 from the 33. That'll be changing the play. Play clock is at 1. Eddie George right here. And Ecubon comes from the end to bring him down after a gain of a yard. You watched Eddie George on tape last week. What did you think of his running style this year while healthy against last year when he was a little bit debilitated?
Well, like when we talked to him yesterday, I said, you know, Eddie, last year you ran loud. You know, folks, if you're at home, you kind of beat your feet on the ground. It goes bang, 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 bang. Eddie looked like he was running with his feet slamming the ground. Right now he's on his toes and he's prancing, and he looks like Eddie George out of look.
And he's a big back against a smaller Dallas defense.
Well, he's kind of a scat back trapped in the defensive end's body.
Third down and 7 from the 34. Here they come at McNair. Ellis is blocked well by Fred Miller. Here comes Kevin Hardy. Fumble on the play and smothered by McNair. Oh, it's maybe a Dallas ball. No, he got on it at the 26-yard line. But again, the defense of Dallas holds on.
You know, Kevin Hardy was also brought in here as a free agent. He was brought in here to not only be an all-around linebacker, but put pressure on the quarterback. This tells you one thing alone. Not only good pressure, but excellent coverage down the field. This Dallas defense played very well against Houston last week. They just made 3 critical errors that cost them the ball game.
Hentrick to punt. Joey Galloway will signal for and be given a fair catch at the 36, a 38-yard punt. A lot of emotion in this building today.
A lot of skepticism, too. Kevin, people want to see what kind of day just rolling out of bed.
Two tight ends, 3rd and 1, Emmitt Smith. From behind, great tackle made by Keith Bullock. A loss of a yard on the play. He is a 3rd-year linebacker out of Syracuse. And both teams have had their first 2 possessions end in 3 and out.
You want to go this way. If you go this way against either one of these defenses, you go sideways, you better get great blocking. And folks, this is not great blocking, and Emmitt Smith never had a chance. North and south, east and west is going to come down to a speed contest, and both these offenses lose that match.
Mike Honor to punt. Inside is 32. Derek Mason back at about the 10. Nice placement. And Mason against form, getting it at the 7-yard line and only gets it up to about the 15. Don't they say when it's inside the 10, you plant your heels and you don't catch anything inside the 10?
And Kev, I think right after he caught that, he went, oh yeah, I'm not supposed to have this. Hit the ground.
Small feet.
You were there. These are very dangerous men. We will protect you.
Robbery Homicide Division premieres CBS Friday, September 27th.
8th season as head coach of Tennessee, Dave Campo in his 3rd year as the coach of the Dallas Cowboys.
Well, football teams are a reflection of your football team, of your head coach. Tennessee, it's very true. If Dallas is a reflection of Dave Campo from last week, I'd break the mirror.
15-yard line, 1st and 10 handoff to Eddie George. Mario Edwards in there after a gain of 3, 2nd down and 7.
And this Dallas defense, when you watch the videotapes, you see that game they played last week, you're deceived. You thought the defense played poorly. This is a fast, very, very talented defense that held Texas basically to 200 yards and 10 first down, 10, 13 first down.
Some pretty revealing comments this week about intensity in practice by Kevin Hardy.
And that's the leadership this team needs. And it needs the leadership. It needs the intensity. They don't have it.
17-yard line, 2nd down, long 7. Eddie George, cut and brought down nicely. They had Hawthorne in there, but Keith Adams making his first NFL start. A guy who was originally drafted by the Tennessee Titans makes the stop.
And, you know, Keith Adams has got an advantage, a competitive advantage. He has seen this offense a lot. Now, most of it was in practice, but he's tackled Eddie George a lot. He's seen this offensive line. He's a former Titan. He attacks it. That's the aggressive nature this football team on the defensive side and offensive side needs for Dallas. They need emotion.
3rd down and 9 outside the 15. 3 wide receivers, George in the backfield, and the pass caught by Mason. And he's got a 1st down, wheeling his way to the 26-yard line. It's a gain of 10 on 3rd down and 9.
You know, if I was the Bruce Coslet, who's the offensive coordinator for the Dallas Cowboys, I'd make cut-ups of Steve McNair early in his career and Steve McNair now in his career. And his ability to get the ball to his receivers like Mason in those situations. His poise under pressure. There's Bruce Coslet right there. I think he's one of the good offensive minds in the league right now. Has been for a while.
Tennessee picks up their first down of the ball game. Now at the 26, 1st and 10. Eddie George with the fake. Here comes Pepe Zellner. There goes McNair, winding and throwing down the sideline with Mason in his target. It's inside the Dallas 35. And a huge pickup by the scrambling McNair to Mason of 40 yards and a Tennessee 1st down.
And this is an example. I'd put this play in the cut-up reel that I want to show Quincy Carter. Everything isn't perfect. Behind Mason, right about now, havoc is broken loose. Nothing's going to form. This is coordination between quarterback and receiver. It's done in practice. It's done in the meeting rooms. And this is what's starting to make Steve McNair, I believe, one of the top 3 or 4 quarterbacks in the NFL. He's as good as there is out there at that.
Dallas Cowboys have a little change at cornerback today, too.
They sent a little message to Bryant Westbrook. He had the interference, a couple interference calls. Didn't handle it well on the field or off, and they decided to have a little parting of the way.
And he started last week. Empty backfield, McNair at the 34 of Dallas. Winding up and to the end zone for George. Incomplete. Yellow on the play. Hawthorne was covering George.
And George was pounding Hawthorne.
Hard.
Sounds like two writers you study in English class. Hawthorne and George. Eddie George, I told you, this is a...
Pass interference, offense, number 27. 10-yard penalty, repeat, first down.
Yeah, I said Eddie George was a scat back trapped in a defensive end's body. The defensive end just broke out there. I mean, he's just making space. Everybody wants that. You do that all the time. Give me space. That was a give me space. And it was worth a few yards. Dave Campo's defense needed that kind of break. They didn't get him last week.
He was a defensive coordinator here before he became the head coach.
Yeah, and he's a guy that is fiery, who is emotional, and that's why it's surprising that you don't see the reflection in his football team. To me, this is style versus substance. Substance is Tennessee. Style last week was Dallas. All sizzle, no bacon.
With the penalty, 1st and 20, back at the 44 of the Cowboys. The fake end around. They give it to the galloping Eddie George, who's down to the 37 and picks up 7 on the play and brought down by Coakley. It'll still be 2nd down and long. There's Lynn Scott in the secondary for the Cowboys.
Hey, you want to talk about a guy that can challenge an Eddie George and can really be a factor in this Dallas defense. The rookie Roy Williams out of Oklahoma. They love this guy. Kevin Hardy's eyes just got big when he started talking about. He says, look, here's a guy that's 230 pounds that can run like crazy and loves to bring the whole load when he hits people.
2nd down, 13 at the 38 of Dallas for Tennessee. Their best position today after a long 40-yard gain to Mason. The pitch out to George, a block by Pillar. There goes Eddie George inside the 20 into the 19-yard line. His best gain of the day, a 19-yard run as we run up to New York in our NFL studios at Jim Nance.
All right, speaking of runs here, Kevin, the Dolphins drive 73 yards in 9 plays, and Fiedler on the keep. 7-0 Miami, and they have just picked off Peyton Manning at midfield. Let's go back to Kevin and Randy.
Jim, thank you very much. Miami, Randy, has won 4 consecutive games in Indianapolis.
And Peyton Manning 2-7 as a starter against the Dolphins and has more interceptions than touchdown passes.
Eddie George at the 19-yard gain, 1st and 10. Just inside the Dallas 19 for Tennessee. George again, you're getting a steady diet of him. Michael Myers along with Glover bring him down. And a gain of maybe a half yard at the very most. At the 18, 2nd down, a long 9, a short 10.
Now, that's an example of a handoff that is smothered by the defense. The former play was a quick pitch, and Dallas knows with their speed, they can be taken advantage of because of their over pursuit. That's why Eddie George was able to break the big run back to backside. Stay in those pursuit lanes because George and Emmitt Smith see everything.
2nd down and 9 inside the 18 for Tennessee. McNair, a Hopkins block, great time, underneath he goes, caught by George, who is hauled down by Hardy, a gain of 5. Mark him at the 12-yard line, and now it'll be 3rd down and short.
This is just a matchup that we've seen for a lot of years since Eddie George and Kevin Hardy have been in the league. George comes out through the line into the defensive backfield, and who's waiting for him? His old buddy, the former Jacksonville Jaguar, Hardy. Very sure tackler. Good speed. There's Hardy. There's the matchup. That's perfect. Mike Zimmer, the defensive coordinator, and Dave Campo know they got a real good one in Kevin Hardy, and he's still in now in a nickel.
It's 3rd down and 4 from the 12 for Tennessee. Oh, somebody move. Was it Hopkins?
Well, they're both pointing.
Or was Ecubon induced?
No, motion.
Ed Hockley is our referee today.
Before the ball was snapped, false start, offense, number 72. 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
Hopkins, who is the leader of that offensive line with Bruce Matthews after 19 years in the NFL gone?
Well, Jeff Fisher makes the point, besides the fact that they have a great teacher and coach in Mike Munchak. I think he's not only a Hall of Famer as a player, he's an excellent technician as a coach. Gennaro DiNapoli, the center, has become the guy that makes all the calls, all the play calls, all the slants, all the games, and they've sort of taken on his personality. And he's got a little bit of the tough guy, a little bit of the hard guy in him.
Mike Green in the backfield. 3rd and 9, 9th play of the drive. McNair winding up to the side, caught by Mason. Good move on Hawthorne, who comes around and brings him down at about the 6. It's good for a 1st down for Tennessee. A gain of 11 on 3rd and 9.
You know what I love seeing are teams that are used to playing on grass like Tennessee when they get chances to play on turf every once in a while, they feel and look quicker. You can't make that cut always on grass because your cleats kind of go out from underneath you. McNair just seems to spit the ball quicker. Mason's just making those cuts a little bit quicker. They're just a little bit sharper looking football team on AstroTurf than they are on grass.
Wide receiver Drew Bennett, top of your screen. George back in. First down and goal on the 6. Eddie George, a Camilla block. Into about the 5. Brought down by Ekuban. Second down and goal.
He was brought down by that whole left side of the Dallas defense. That was a nice job at Dallas's left side, led by Ekuban, just slamming the Tennessee Titans lines. I mean, Greg Camilla was the lead back, and he ran right into the back of his offensive line. He had nowhere to go.
Good-looking drive put together by Steve McNair, who may have been helped in leadership and other qualities with Eddie George last year not being 100%.
I think, you know, you can make a strong case that last year, despite his injuries, he couldn't lift his arm and touch the other shoulder. As bad as he was, he might have been the most valuable player on a losing team in the NFL.
That's a big statement. Timeout taken. With 48 seconds to play in the first quarter. We are in Mustang country with Randy Cross and Beasley Reese. Kevin Harlan, no score. But Tennessee is on the move on a good-looking drive where they have converted 3rd and 9 a couple times. Now second down, goal at the 6. Who are you watching on this play?
I look at Frank Wycheck, the tight end. He's kind of below the radar. Like these Titans, people don't give him much credit. He just finds a way to make the big play.
Second down, goal at the 6. McNair. Here comes the rush. There goes McNair diving, and he's short. They have not signaled touchdown. At about the 1-yard line, the scrambling Steve McNair. Now 3rd and goal.
What you have to look at, let's concentrate on the knees and the ball. Are the knees on the ground before the stretch occurs? Push off. Down. Excellent call. Excellent call by that sideline official. That timing was absolutely perfect.
Mark Hittner is that sideline official. 3rd down and goal at the 1. 12th play of the drive. The fake to George. McNair to the end zone. A touchdown. You called it, Frank Wycheck.
Mike Heimerdinger, the offensive coordinator, Kevin, said, you know, when I got here, I wasn't impressed with the guy. But every time I looked up, he was catching a first down pass. He was catching a touchdown. He was making a big block. This is an excellent call upstairs from Heimerdinger. Woodson overruns him. He knows how good Wycheck is. Woodson grabs. Wycheck stops. McNair finds him. You have to be impressed with the execution of this Titans offense.
Edney's extra point is up and in. That will take us to the end of the first quarter. So on his catch today, the 89th consecutive game that number 89, Frank Wycheck, has caught a pass.
It's 2 months of the season here in Texas. That could be an advantage of 20 degrees. I played here as a Cowboy, played here as an opponent. It is significant. Guys back upstairs.
That's a good point.
I can't say that because I played with some bad teams. We were in the dark most of the time anyway when we were in Dallas early in my career.
After the McNair touchdown pass, here comes Kenyon Rambo and brought down by Rocky Kalmus. One of the best linebackers in college football a season ago at Oklahoma. 24-yard return. Rocky, there has not been a guy named Rocky in the NFL since 1987.
Running backs, the ball, feed them.
Darnay Scott in for the first time as a Cowboy. 29-yard line, 1st and 10 for quarterback Quincy Carter. And some shoving after the play. Scott was told the Cowboys would sign him last week, but they signed him this week, and he brings a little bit of moxie to this young wide receiving core.
He also brings a little bit of knowledge in Bruce Coslett's offense, having been in Cincinnati as long with Bruce.
Ball start, offense, number 85. 5-yard penalty, it's still first down.
I guess it is new, huh?
A new cadence not only affects the offensive line, it also affects a wide receiver who's not used to seeing it. Bruce Coslett knows that Darnay Scott, there's Coslett, I was circling, is a guy that is reliable, will catch, has speed, has caught a lot of passes in his career, and has never fumbled.
1st and 15 with the penalty. Push it back to the 24-yard line. Quincy Carter down the sideline and hauled in by Joey Galloway, who is going against Samari Rawl. It's up to the 45-yard line, a pickup of 21. And let's go to New York again in Jim Nance.
All right, Kevin, the Jets and the Patriots. Troy Brown for the Patriots has not caught a touchdown in the last 9 games. Gets it here from Brady, but hit at the goal line by Sam Garnes, recovered by Marvin Jones. They're scoreless in the second quarter at Giant Stadium. Let's go back to Kevin and Randy.
Last week, New England was +4 in the giveaway takeaway against Pittsburgh.
That's Herman Edwards and Bill Belichick football. You light people up, you make them turn it over.
Nice run by Emmitt Smith is 7 yards, pounding up the middle to the 48-yard line of Tennessee.
As they say, Kev, that's what I'm talking about. Get number 22 going. You know, it's hard to evaluate where Emmitt Smith really is on the time chart here. I mean, normal running backs at 33 shouldn't have the spring and the explosion that he has. But you're not going to get a good look at what Emmitt can do until that offensive line gets their act together. New blocking scheme, I understand, but they've got to get their act together and make these holes for Emmitt.
And a timeout taken by the Dallas Cowboys. That will be their first time. Tennessee on top, 12-play drive, a 1-yard touchdown pass to Frank Wycheck, Kevin Harlan, Randy Cross, who has a piece of hardware a lot of Cowboy fans think maybe they should have instead of you.
Should be their 6th championship instead of their 5th.
That's right.
That was the beginning of the end for the old Cowboys. That was our '81 team that played so well against the Dallas Cowboys in that great game with the catch and Joe Montana and Dwight Clark.
2nd down and 3 after the Dallas timeout. The pitch out to Emmitt Smith, chased by Bullock, and he has a first down, turning the corner and going inside the Tennessee 40-yard line.
I like that. Go away, toss it weak, and Joey Galloway's out there imitating a receiver trying to block, and he got blindsided by Emmitt when he got tackled. That's good acceleration. That's good game planning. Nice job by Bruce Cosley.
Well, the big number, 16,726. And that is what Emmitt Smith is after. He gained 67 yards last week in Houston.
It's going to be sometime around Halloween or so at the rate this team's going, but he could break out for a couple 100-plussers.
1st and 10, Carter down the middle, and it's caught by a diving Kenyon Rambo. It's a 17-yard pickup.
Well, I know that Samari Rawl is absolutely Beasley Reese's favorite corner in the NFL. But Beasley's favorite corner has given Kenyon Rambo a little bit too much love and respect, playing a little too far off him. Quincy Carter is going to keep completing those balls, and for a guy as respected as Rawl is, Dallas is not hesitating going after him.
Couple Morton Anderson field goals in Kansas City. Miami 14-zip over Indy. Here's 7-0 Tennessee. 1st and 10. 22-yard line. Emmitt Smith. Robert Thomas with the block, and a tackle by Sermon after a gain of 5 to about the 17-yard line.
Hey, you know, sometimes you just got to go ugly early. And in football, going ugly early is getting behind that big offensive line, especially number 73, Larry Allen. And you got to run it. You got to splatter people. There's no way around it. It doesn't take a genius to run the ball, but it also doesn't take a genius to go behind number 73 every chance you get.
2nd down 5. Good fake by Carter. Wide open is Tony McGee. Touchdown.
And folks, when you're Dave Campo and you go ugly early and you run the ball, it pays dividends down the road for your quarterback, your receivers, and your entire offense.
That's the first catch by a Dallas tight end this season. Cundiff is up and in, so the 300th career catch of Tony McGee is a touchdown.
Play fake this way. Look at the defense, the speed of that Tennessee defense reacting. Tony McGee, the lonesome tight end, because he's all by himself.
So you've got access to 225.
Exactly what he wants him to do.
Here's John Simon about the 2-yard line for the Titans. A good block by Boyman. He finds a seam and careens his way up to the 27-yard line. It's a 23-yard return.
I talked about this Dallas defense having a good game last week. Roy Glover, Kevin Hardy, Roy Williams. This will be a highlight. That's a bad look, though. I mean, and we got to take responsibility for that. I know Kevin. Kevin wouldn't do that. He wouldn't go there. There's Mike Zimmer, the defensive coordinator, who's really put together. You know, last year, one of the best kept secrets in the league was that this was the number 4 defense in the NFL.
First down and 10 yards to go. Eddie George, a gaping hole, cracked by Woodson, close to a first down. As he took it right over center, DiNapoli and the 2 guards, Pillar and Olsen.
DiNapoli, Pillar, Olsen. That inside drill we run in football, this is nothing but an inside drill. Good coordination. And Eddie George, look at his heels don't hit the ground when he runs. He's running on the balls of his feet, and he couldn't do that when he had that bad toe the last couple of years. He's now 9 rushes, 39 yards.
That's 5 yards a carry, second and short, stacked up that time without a lot of room inside. Brandon Noble brings him down, the tackle on the defensive line for the Dallas Cowboys. Coming up on the Nextel halftime report, join Jim, Dion, Dan, and Boomer. Scores, highlights, and NFL news. That's the Nextel halftime report from our studios in New York. A touchdown pass by Steve McNair, a touchdown pass by Quincy Carter. We are tied at 7. You know, for McNair last week, and they do get the first down, some people thought that game, and it kind of is a tag onto a comment you made back in the first quarter,
right,
that last week's game, coming from 14 down, was almost a coming-of-age game for him and his team.
Well, the Titans or Oilers hadn't done that since 1988. They hadn't come 14 points down. Steve McNair is one of the luckiest quarterbacks that's played in this league in the last decade. Because you know why? He got to sit and watch and learn to be a quarterback and not be thrown to the wolves like a Quincy Carter.
That's a good point. 39-yard line, first and 10, McNair. Rifles a pass to the side, caught by Mason, diving for a first down to the 47-yard line and picks up 11 yards on the play.
And but Kevin, this is a theme for the Tennessee Titans. You usually don't play right away for this football team because of the chemistry, because of the coordination. I mean, look at that. That is the coordination between a wide receiver and a quarterback. He hits that third step and bang, that ball's out. You just don't, that's not just born, that's earned.
Could McNair be the most improved superstar in the NFL over the last 14 games, perhaps?
I think, I don't use that superstar too much, but I think he's the most underappreciated star in the league.
47-yard line, it's a first down. Bennett on the move. McNair to George, meeting Kevin Hardy after a minimal game. Hardy means a lot to this Dallas defense.
You know, in a short time, we talked briefly about the emotion he's brought to this defense and the leadership, and it's what this defense needs. You know, the U.S. Open tennis finals last week on CBS, we joked about it being the opposite of 2 Utes. Well, this defense has a lot of Utes, and they need some of those older guys like Hardy and Glover, who's by no means really old, but they need that leadership, that fire. Somebody's got to show them how to do it.
Second down 10, 47-yard line. McNair, deceptive move, chased by Ellis, chased by Myers, chased by Coakley, and one of the great running quarterbacks. Oh, he's down. He is one of the great running quarterbacks in the NFL today, but that time he met something that barely moved. He's got that bad shoulder from a year ago. The surgery was successful, but that shoulder is still a concern of Coach Jeff Fisher, who runs to the Dallas sideline across the way. And downstairs we go to Beasley Reese.
All right, guys, this happened about 5 yards from me. I happened to be crossing behind the Cowboys bench when Steve McNair came running full speed. He had no time to slow down. He jumped over something and then landed sideways right into the bench. He's laying down right now, prone, with doctors and 2 or 3 people over him. He is moving his hands, but other than that, he has not moved his legs. His hands are over his face, trying to gather himself. Back to you guys.
And that's a great example, Bees, I'm sure you know, of the difference between running down your sideline and running the opponent's sideline. The opponents are going to get out of the way and let you hit that steamer trunk in the bench. Your teammates are going to catch you and try to stop your quarterback from getting in that situation. A lot of things happen on the sideline. In that case, not many of them are good when you're hitting things like that. I mean, you bang your leg, you bang your shoulder. I mean, there's a lot of contact and not much give.
Jeff Fisher has told us on many occasions that the toughest player he's ever been around is his quarterback, Steve McNair.
And he emphasized yesterday, this is as healthy as Steve McNair has been. Let's give a listen to how that sounded when McNair hit that bench.
We're talking about 240 pounds. So we're at Texas Stadium. There has been an injury on the field to Steve McNair, and we have a timeout.
Game day kicks off in the dawn's early light. Work behind the scenes to get it right. From the pigskin makers to the hard hat man, the special teams and the big game plan. This is for the people who never play it down, who really make it rock when the game's in town. This spot's for you. And you and you and you. This spot's for you. And you and you and you. This spot's for TV camera guys, play by play, bringing it together, kicking off game.
Before we left you, he coming full speed on a scramble, ran into an equipment box and the bench, hurting himself. Coach Jeff Fisher, coach of the Titans, came over to see to him. Doctors were over him. Now he's headed back over to his sideline. Guys, back to you.
All right, Beasley, but he's had a history of injuries, and of course his shoulder is a concern. But you think maybe it was his knee that hit first?
Well, his right leg hits, then his right shoulder, then his right arm. See, the right leg hits in there. But remember the NFL of today, Kevin. You've got to have quality backups at the quarterback position. The last 3 Super Bowls have basically been won by backups, coming after starters have been hurt. Jeff Fisher says this is the first time my quarterback's been healthy coming into an opener, but he's a lucky man in having Neil O'Donnell with the experience he has ready to go into a football game.
So here is Neil O'Donnell, 36 years old. He played 5 games with the start last season, faced with 3rd down and 2 from the Dallas 45. Eddie George, a block by the tackle Hopkins, a gain of 3 and a first down.
Of course, the quality and the experience of a Neil O'Donnell, you know, can I turn around and hand the ball to Eddie George? You can turn around and hand the ball to Eddie George.
He is more a locker room presence now because McNair has been the starter and the established starter, but they say he is invaluable in the locker room.
He's a class guy. He never makes a controversy about, you know, this is the guy that was in Super Bowls. That's been an excellent quarterback in this league and is now happy to be a backup, and it's a plus for this football team.
On the 42-yard line of Dallas, O'Donnell 1st and 10. Eddie George picking and poking his way, then drilled by Darren Woodson at the 39 after a gain of 3. Woodson's as big as George.
Well, and one of the problems that George runs into, Kevin, is he runs a little upright. Everybody talks about that, but here's an example of why you don't want to run upright with your upper body kind of like this, because the defensive back can come in and give you a smack. Watch George start to bounce, go up in the air, and bang, there comes Woodson. Hit that nice big target. You're giving him about 4 feet to hit.
Woodson is a 2nd all-time leading tackler for the Cowboys. 2nd down and 7 with Tennessee at the 39. First pass by O'Donnell, winding up down the side, looking for Bennett. And the coverage by Mario Edwards and Lynn Scott. Incomplete. It's not too late, folks. Fantasy football leagues are still forming. To sign up now, just click on Fantasy at CBSSportsline.com or AOL, enter keyword CBS Sportsline. With Randy Cross, Beasley Reese, Kevin Harlan, sold out Texas Stadium. That's the big story now, the health of Steve McNair. 3rd down and about 7 after this timeout from the 39-yard line. Both teams have taken a timeout already, and this will be Dallas taking it, so they've got...
In Dallas, I have the injury report on quarterback Steve McNair. The Titans, it is a mild concussion. His return is questionable, guys.
All right, Beasley, 3rd down, 7 after the timeout by Dallas's defense. Tennessee forward 6 on 3rd downs today. Neil O'Donnell rifles the pass to the side. Good for a first down. And this one is caught for the first time today by Justin McCarron. who caught a touchdown pass last week. He picks up 15 on 3rd and 7, working on Edwards on the corner.
You know, Mike Heimerdinger, the offensive coordinator of the Titans, says, we've got Dyson and we've got Mason, but I came here, I kind of figured we had just a couple guys named Joe. Well, we got McCarron's, and he's not a Joe, and Drew Bennett, he's not much of a Joe, but all these guys do, kind of like Wycheck, is make the plays. There's Mike Heimerdinger right there. Came from Denver. First year, he adjusted to them. Last year, they adjusted to him. This year, it's their offense, all of them.
24-yard line, 1st and 10. Eddie George plowing into Hardy. Grabbed by Myers. And a gain on the play of about 4. 2nd down and 6. They continue to look at Steve McNair.
Yeah, it's pretty obvious once you slow the tape down of him going into the sideline. Remember, folks, he hit that big trunk by the benches he ran into. The first thing that hit was the side of his head.
And his head was going down, too. It wasn't up.
As he goes in, watch his head. And generally, those trunks laying around aren't exactly empty.
And on his passing shoulder as well, the head and the passing shoulder.
So,
2nd down, 6. 20-yard line for Neil O'Donnell. Good block by George to the end zone. O'Donnell. And incomplete. Looking for McCarron's again.
But it's pretty obvious that Heimerdinger, the coordinator, and Jeff Fisher, the head coach, have to make little to no adjustments in what they want to do with Neil O'Donnell in the game. Neil O'Donnell, Pittsburgh, the Jets, quality quarterback.
Cincinnati.
And he likes to go ugly. Just like you saw Quincy Carter in the group go ugly running the ball. Neil O'Donnell knows the best way to really take a game under control is to go ugly and run Eddie George.
He took Pittsburgh, as you mentioned earlier, to a Super Bowl. 3rd down and 6, 12th play of the drive. You see what they're doing on 3rd downs today from the 20. Here they come with Hardy. And the pass caught by Wycheck and climbs his way for a yard, maybe 2, to the 19-yard line. And so Dallas's defense holds on. That's good news for Dave Campo, who will watch Tennessee try for 3.
Hey, you got Hardy coming after him. You got Woodson coming after him. Nice call by Zimmer, the coordinator for Dallas. And good execution by Neil O'Donnell. A veteran quarterback turns that into a completion. A young quarterback turns that into a fire drill.
Joe Nedney knocked 2 in last week from 33 and 47. This will be a 37-yard try. And the Tennessee Titans have reclaimed the lead with their starting quarterback out and a lot of concern on their sideline.
A real first class. He's such a first class guy.
There's the kickoff by Nedney. And Kenyon Rambo will take it a couple yards in the end zone. Flag is thrown. Nedney will try to push him out of bounds and does. Flag, in fact, 2 of them inside the 20. It stands now a 33-yard kick. Nedney is 6'5", so he's got some size, but regardless, you don't want your kicker making a lot of
During the return,
tackles.
Illegal block in the back by the receiving team number 55. A 10-yard penalty. Dallas keeps the ball, 1st down.
That's Marcus Steele, who was a starter a year ago, but now supplanted by Kevin Hardy. There we go across the USA with Randy Cross.
Well, and I'll add a 4th one. Marcus Steele, be smart, don't hit somebody in the back. Poise, know the rules. I put that one just in not only for Marcus Steele, but also for Dwayne Rudd. Come on, guys, have class. Pretend you've done this before. Sack them. Get after the quarterbacks. Everybody's got to do that. Everybody, in my mind, has to find out how good their backup is if you're a defensive coordinator. And patience. I'll mention this every single week. I think patience is the most important thing, especially this time of the year for a football team. It'd be easy for Campo and the Cowboys to panic. They obviously haven't.
We'll talk about sacks. Both these defenses had 6 last week from the 10, 1st and 10. Here comes Carter, slips away, feeds the pass up the middle where it's caught by Emmitt Smith, who picks up 4. He's to the 14. It'll be 2nd down and 6. What do you see in Carter, and what do the Cowboys see in Carter as a quarterback?
Well, you know, Dave Campo and Jerry Jones and Larry Lacewell and the entire personnel department saw something no one else did. And Quincy Carter obviously had a pretty abysmal effort last week in that Houston game, but they say this is our guy. And honestly, he's got to be their guy. Who are they going to play, Chad Hutchinson?
He's a rookie free agent.
He's a rookie free agent. He's been throwing baseballs for 4 years.
With the Cardinal minor league system, and here comes Emmitt Smith again from the 14 in the 2nd and 6th play, and he moves the pile for a couple of yards out to about the 16-yard line.
And as important as a Steve McNair is to Tennessee, and as good as this guy is, and as good as some of the quarterbacks are right now, like, you know, Jeff Garcia and Kurt Warner, I think as a team focus, quarterback's the most overrated position in the NFL. And you want to need further proof, look at some of the defending Super Bowl champions. They didn't start out focusing on that particular quarterback. It's emotion, it's chemistry, it's running the ball, it's being physical, it's playing defense, and having a quarterback that doesn't hurt you.
Hambrick in, 3rd down 4. Carter throws a pass, and it's caught for a 1st down. Grabbed by Joey Galloway. It's an 8-yard pickup on 3rd down and 4. What do you think of Joey Galloway and what he did last week, which was bone of contention with a lot of people around the country?
Caught 6 passes, catches a good one here. Needs to show a little bit more want to for my book. I mean, needs to really get the hard yards. If I have to go back in the huddle and I got to look those 5 big meats in front of me in the eye every time in the huddle, I want them to know I'm fighting for every yard I can get.
It's 1st and 10. And that pass is caught by Antonio Bryant, a rookie 2nd-round pick out of Pitt. A 10-yard pickup, and they're going to give him a 1st down on the play as Carter has hit his last 7 consecutive passes.
Any questions on Carter and exactly what they may see in him? It's an accurate young man. Remember, end of the year last year, they beat San Francisco, New York, Washington. He looked excellent. He played well at home last year, and this is the performance that I think Jones and Campo and company were expecting out of their young quarterback here at home today.
Emmitt Smith is back in.
Oh.
Got a block from Adams, but it was quickly siphoned off. A 1-yard pickup, and all kinds of players over there, including their rookie 1st-round pick out of Tennessee, Albert Hainsworth, on the defensive line for Tennessee.
Well, and a little bit of smackage there, too, by Tank Williams at safety, but Hainsworth is an occupier. Big, tall guy. You can see he's not missing too many Happy Meals on a regular basis. And he's going to have it, because look who he's going against. He's going against Larry Allen.
Maybe the best that's ever played the position.
You better bring that whole bag of cement up against that Larry.
2nd down 9, the fake to Smith. Here comes the nimble quarterback Carter, but down he goes, sacked on the play. Robert Smith and Hainsworth coming in to make the grab.
Hainsworth, an excellent job against Larry Allen. Coming from this side of the screen. He pushes Allen back, he escapes Allen, and gets right in the wheelhouse, right at the feet of Carter, makes him hesitate, sets up there for the
37-yard field goal moments ago by Joe Nedney.
I'll be out of your way, thank you.
At the 2-minute warning, 3rd and 19 for Dallas, outside the 25.
Poise, do not make a mistake here, all decisions.
Carter winds and throws, and it's caught by Antonio Bryant. With that familiar number 88, Michael Irvin's old number, a guy that Bryant used to idolize, a 33-yard pickup, and Carter again right on the money.
Well, I'd say not only Michael Irvin, but our guy Deion Sanders. These guys were all over these Cowboys at the beginning of the week after that performance Sunday, especially Bryant about being more aggressive as a receiver.
Wiley and Hambrick in the backfield, and Carter winding up to the end zone for Galloway. Incomplete. And a foot race with roll, 2nd down and 10. And Carter and Carter, no relation, on top of each other.
Now, by its nature, a go pattern, you know, you're supposed to go. Don't slow down, run. Joey, keep going. He's throwing you the ball.
He would have had it, too, had he not hesitated.
He slowed down midway through that route, not expecting the pass, it appeared. I mean, good pressure by Carter. And you got to root for Carter really to come back after that terrible year he had last year with the injuries, and started the season with a sack and a half.
Larry Allen is
look at Samari.
Yeah, I'm sure he's saying, oops.
Oops. His tongue's dragging on the ground. They are going after him.
They had all kinds of cramps in the game last week against Philadelphia, including roll.
And I'm not complete. You know, they had an awful lot of long defensive drives. So I'm not completely sure that some of those cramps and injuries weren't just conveniently timed to buy them a little bit of space on the clock.
Larry Allen walking off under his own power, but certainly favoring one of his legs. Looks like his left leg. And so he will leave
And he got bent over that pile with Kevin Carter putting that pressure on. See, he's bent back over backwards.
That was Ed Hockley, who was a weightlifter.
Well, Ed Hockley needed to be a weightlifter.
Yeah, that's a lot of weight.
Wow. That's a class move by our referee. Because that's a player in distress bent over like that. He's bent all the way over. His legs are underneath Carter.
In an awkward position and extended. So they've got Matt Lair now taking his place. Lair is a 5th-round pick a couple years ago out of Virginia Tech. He's wearing 68. 2nd down and 10.
Yeah, and he's about an 8th grader lighter.
From the Tennessee 42. Carter, the sideline that got away from him a little bit as he was aiming for Kenyon Rambo. And now it'll be 3rd and 10.
And Lance Schulter's got a nice shot on Quincy Carter. It seems that Jeff Fisher's defense has decided we're not going to let him stand back there and look so comfortable.
Log on to NFL.com. Get up to the minute scores and stats. Follow your favorite players all day long at NFL.com or on America Online, keyword NFL.com. 3rd down and 10. Dallas took over at their 10 with 5:31 left, and a pass is almost picked off by Samari Rolle. They were looking for Galloway. Incomplete.
Well,
4th down, and they're going to punt.
That's the playing with fire problem when you're going against a Samari Rolle consistently. Look at him break on that ball. He was breaking towards the ball faster than Joey Galloway was.
Where's number 21? He went to Florida State. Where's number 21? Because of Deion Sanders. That was his idol.
I loved his line this morning talking about punt returns. Didn't hurt to run a 4.2 for breakfast.
That was classic.
Yeah, like there's been a lot of those.
Mason deep back. Micah Nora will punt. Good rush. High, hanging, well-placed punt. Mason will let it go inside, and it's caught by Randall Williams, who is a reserve wide receiver who was waived by Jacksonville last year. A 38-yard punt. But look at where he'll strand O'Donnell and the Tennessee offense at the 4.
But when you're a reserve wide receiver, your job description should be special teams ace. And when you're a special teams ace, you've got to be in the game and on the game and know where you can pin an offense like Jeff Fisher and Neil O'Donnell now trying to start. That was an excellent heads-up play by Williams.
McNair, minor concussion, as we reported earlier from Beasley Reese on the sideline. He's at about the 29-yard line watching things right now.
Yeah, we talked about it earlier, too, during a commercial. Minor concussions are concussions that happen to other people.
Right.
I'm sure you could not convince Mr. McNair that it's a minor concussion.
They are minor if it is not you. We'll have Eddie George in the backfield from the 4. Dallas has no timeouts. Tennessee has 2. 1:06 to play in the first half. O'Donnell goes to a knee. What do you think of this strategy?
With this much time left.
And 2 timeouts.
Well, and 2 times, but you're backed up. I mean, how many good things happen in this part of the field? But I come from a different space. Jeff is, let's be physical. Jeff is, and I say Jeff Fisher is, let's be physical. Let's pound it. Let's not make mistakes that put our defense in bad spots. I come from, if there's any time or any timeouts or they let you do it, you go. You attack.
Again, Dallas cannot stop the clock because they're out of timeouts, and O'Donnell will once again, we assume, and will go to a knee. Yeah, they're not a flashy team at all, and maybe that's why they don't grab the headlines nationally, because they play to win, but sometimes they're a little conservative in the way they do it.
All right, thanks a lot, guys. Coach Jeff Fisher just passed me and gave me thumbs up on Steve McNair, so he will play. I spoke to Dave Campo just a moment ago. He is very happy with his team's performance. He said they made one mistake on defense. They got to get him out on 3rd down. Offense, they had some opportunities. Overall, he's happy. Back upstairs.
All right, thank you. And through 30 minutes of football here in Irving, Texas, here are the numbers.
Well, the time of possession is huge. The total yards is decent, but I think what you have to remember is the ugly part. Both these teams have the potential to stay ugly. They went ugly early. Now they got to stay ugly. Don't get cute. Ugly sets up play action. Ugly sets up stuff down the field.
Randy, in your mind, we just talked about last week for Dallas. Of course, McNair and Tennessee engineering a nice come-from-behind win against the Philadelphia Eagles. What is more telling of a team and how good they are, week 1 or week 2?
I think week 2, week 3 gives you the true signal. I mean, we've talked a lot about it. I think week 1 is basically college football. It's a lot of emotion. Guys haven't played much. They've wasted their time in preseason standing around watching other guys play. Week 2, week 3, you start to see the true indication of what a football team is. And I guarantee you one thing we're going to see right now, how tough, and he's the toughest, I think, at his position in the league, McNair is.
No turnovers in the game. We begin the second half with the kickoff by Joe Nedney. And Rambo out of Ohio State will take it inside the 5-yard line for the Cowboys. Slipping by Eric Morris, then taking it out to about the 24-yard line, a return of 20 yards. Well, Carter has thrown the touchdown pass. We've seen that and looked much better this week as opposed to last week. The 26 by Emmett and the rookie Bryant with a couple receptions.
Well, Carter hasn't made the mistakes that he made last week, and Carter hasn't gotten the rush that he got last week. Late in this first half, Jeff Fisher's defense was able to get after Carter a little bit.
Larry Allen, the left guard, is still out, and Matt Lair is still in. On the 25, first down and 10. Whalen, the tight end, in motion. And a pass down the sideline, caught by Galloway, first down. As he was banged at the 37-yard line and picks up 12 yards on the play.
And you can't overstate the importance of Larry Allen and the fact that Lair's in there. I mean, because compared to the other guys in that line, it's one of those what's wrong with this picture. Look at Flozell Adams. Look at Gerard. Look at Adams. I mean, good job protection-wise because Joey Galloway is able to get this completion all on timing. See the way he beat the line right at the line of scrimmage? Dyson wanted to jam him, but he couldn't.
Shy of the 39, first down and 10. Emmitt Smith cracked and brought down. You see Sermon in there along with Henry Ford, John Thornton, and a gain of about a yard in the play. Second down and 9. How has Emmitt Smith done against these Titans?
Well, kind of like you'd expect to see against these defenses. I mean, look at the defenses. This is an attacking defense. This is an attacking defense. This is an attacking defense. I mean, there's no real surprise there that Emmitt has struggled against teams like this. It's also no surprise he's played against them the fewest times.
Second down 9. He gets away from Thornton. Carter now being chased by Schulters and hammered at about the 41-yard line. And after all that running, he picks up a yard by the ex-San Francisco 49er Lance Schulters.
And he's a guy we talked about, Kevin Hardy bringing some attitude to the Cowboys. Schulters has brought a big dose of attitude and work ethic to the Tennessee defense.
No nonsense approach.
No, really. And for San Francisco, it worked out great. They would have loved to have had Schulters, but they got to sign a couple of guys for the price they would have had to pay him. So it's all dollars and cents and caponomics these days.
Schulters replaces Blaine Bishop, who's now at Philadelphia. It's 3rd and 8. Here comes Carter, trying to get to the 49, and dives close to a first down. And that is the other dimension of this young quarterback from Georgia. He can zigzag the field.
Well, he's getting good protection. Look at the protection up front, and I've got to point out Lair. Lair's doing a nice job in there for Larry Allen protecting, and that's the extra dimension McNair adds to this football team, and Quincy Carter can add to this football team, is the ability to pull it down, get it, and go.
So he picks up 9 on the scramble, on the run. On 3rd and 8, he's got a first down at midfield. 10th start of his career today for Quincy Carter. It's Emmitt Smith, wrapped up and inhaled by Jaquay Thomas, a rookie free agent who made the team a couple years ago, now in his 2nd season out of Oklahoma State, losing 2 on the play.
Well, his name might be Jaquay, but it's no way on that play. I mean, that was 3 yards deep in the backfield. And that's the type of thing. Dave Campo's offensive line, instead of being a man-up blocking line now, and we'll show you a little while later here as we go along how that makes a difference. Now they're combination blocking. And people are splitting those combination blocks because they haven't had the time to coordinate it yet.
Second down, 12, back at the 48. It's Emmett again. stays on his feet. Thomas couldn't bring him down, but Tank Williams is there with Sermon and Kevin Aldridge, a rookie free agent from SMU right here in Dallas. It's a gain of 7 the hard way for Emmitt Smith.
And Robert Smith is a little banged up here, but I wanted to show you a little bit of this combination blocking. Watch up front. They're stepping together. They're stepping together. One-on-one. Emmett's got a hole right here. Look at Garmin. You tell me he doesn't want to see that big tail right there with the linebacker locked up on him. He can just feed right up in that hole.
What kind of blocking scheme does new offensive coordinator Bruce Conslett use with this big Dallas offensive line?
It's combination. You're stepping in unison. And you're going, let's say you're the right guard and the right tackle. Your first step is to the right. You're trying to develop just a big wall of body. And there's Bruce Conslett that's brought this new system in here to Dallas. With their size, they ought to absolutely smother people.
It's 10-7 Titans here in Dallas, and Cowboy fans will be glad to know that Larry Allen has come out of the locker room. The big lineman for the Cowboys has a sprained left ankle. His return, though, is still questionable.
Third down, long 5. Wiley and Hambrick in the backfield, and a pass dropped by the rookie, Antonio Bryant. Fourth down, and Dallas has got a punt in their first second-half possession.
You know, but sometimes for a young quarterback, Kevin, a great lesson is learning that a punt's okay. Taking a chance here and maybe causing a turnover, you pass up the opportunity here to really get the other offense pinned back. Now the critical point is, can Knorr get this ball inside the 10-yard line?
Derek Mason has returned 2 punts in his career. A touchdown, low snap from Grau, but little rush, and here comes the placement kick by Mike Knorr. Oh, and a great Cowboy bounce. As they vacuum it in at about the 11-yard line, Wiley is the one who got it. 33-yard punt by Knorr. Second time he has put a nice one inside the 20.
Sometimes you want to think, is that ball made out of leather? Or that old Balata surface they used for golf balls? That thing bit and came back.
First and 10 for Steve McNair, and it's Eddie George. With a white check block, and he backpedals his way for some room. 3 to the 15-yard line. Yep, you heard me. Steve McNair back in as the Tennessee quarterback.
And Jeff Fisher telling Beasley at halftime that he thought he was going to see McNair because it wasn't anything serious. He didn't believe it was anything having to do with concussion. Look at that, 8 and 9, 87 yards, a touchdown. Eddie George running the ball. Mason catching it. Whitecheck's got a touchdown pass.
Second down and 7 from the 15 for McNair. George in the backfield. 3 receivers deployed. Eddie George. And a block by Benji Olsen. And a couple yards for George near the 18. Another pickup of 3. That brings up third down and 4 for Tennessee.
And Leroy Glover, I got to tell you, you get against this defense with Hardy, Woodson, Myers got his 4 tackles, Glover's up front, Dexter Coakley. You see Eddie George kind of get that little hesitation in there. There's nowhere to go, but you can't hesitate. You got to go against this defense.
How good can that defense be, you think?
They're excellent. Look what they added. I mean, you add Glover, you add Williams, you add Hardy. They could be one of the top defenses, if not the top defense in the league.
They were last year, number 4 in the NFL. Third down and 4 for McNair. Winds up and fires a pass, and it's caught. Kevin Dyson, good for a first down to the Tennessee 27. He picks up 11 yards on third down and 4.
But if I had to point to one thing here in Dallas that we haven't seen today, and they haven't seen in a while, that's the cornerback position really being the standout defenders that they have been in the past. Sure, they were spoiled with Dion and Smith and the guys that played on the corners in the past. Very quality guys athletically playing now for the Cowboys. The difference is they're not getting the interceptions and the turnovers out of the position.
Breathing space for McNair from the 29, first and 10. This is Mike Green, big hole, and he bursts free past the 40, upended by Lynn Scott, and a rumble of 12 yards.
That is nothing but pure man-on-man football. DiNapoli right up here up front, working against Noble. Got a double team on the left, got a double team on the right, and got nothing but wide open spaces behind him. Eddie George is on the sidelines right now, and they're doing a little work on his left hand.
Not the toe and the ankle, which have been such big problems for him over the last couple of years. It is a 1st and 10 from the 41. They're back in there after getting shaken up in the first half. Here comes a safety. Timeout taken by McNair with about a second remaining on the play clock.
Nice disguising, nice play call by Mike Zimmer for the Dallas.
Titans have the best road record in the NFL since 1995. They're trying to start this season this year at 2-0. They lead right now on a Nedney 37-yard field goal. Their injured quarterback McNair is back in after getting shaken up in the first half with Randy Cross and Beasley Reese, Kevin Harlan. 1st and 10 after the timeout taken by Tennessee from their own 41. Eddie George is in, offers a block. McNair down the sideline, nobody home. Except perhaps Roy Williams, the celebrated high draft choice out of Oklahoma. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
Hey, this is just the cat and mouse, that chess thing we always talk about when you're watching football games between defensive coaches, quarterbacks, offensive coordinators, defensive backs. Jeff Fisher's offense is just trying to solve the puzzle that Mike Zimmer for the Dallas Cowboys is giving them right now.
McNair had hit his last 8 straight passes. A good day nonetheless. A touchdown pass in there too. 2nd down and 10. And again at the 41-yard line. And McNair to the side. It's hauled in by Kevin Dyson. DeJuan Hawthorne was right on him. Starter most of last season. He picks up 4. Hawthorne lost the starting job in camp to Bryant Westbrook. Then Hawthorne did a good job last week. They let go of Westbrook and put this kid back at the starting corner.
And he didn't really lose his job. Like Dave Campbell said, we were trying to upgrade the position. We looked around and figured out, you know what? We're not upgrading the position very much. What we had wasn't so bad.
So now 3rd down and 6. Ball at the 45.
A lot of pointing. Usually means the defense is giving them a look they're not familiar with.
McNair, a George block and a pass incomplete. Almost uncatchable, but I think Dyson may have gotten a hand on it. Nonetheless, the Dallas defense holds.
Well, they really did. You saw before the snap all the pointing. Now you've only got 5 guys right here to block. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? No problem. Here comes number 6. Check it out. And 7. So you got Roy Williams steaming around the corner and Lynn Scott coming after McNair.
Joey Galloway has returned a lot of punts in his career for touchdown. This one's going to go in the end zone. Galloway's gone the distance 4 times. The punt by Hendrick, good for 55 yards. Tennessee Titans.
Sponsored by Gatorade Thirst Quencher. It's in the NFL. Is it in you? And by High Endurance Clear Gel from Old Spice.
We're back at Texas Stadium, the 97th consecutive sellout. 10-7 Titans on top. Both teams have had it once in the second half. Both teams have punted. So from the 20-yard line on the touchback, it's 1st and 10 for Quincy Carter. He's got Emmett in the backfield with Robert Thomas. Carter. Outside Joey Galloway, a nice tackle made on the side by Samari Roll, who would not let go. It's a gain of 6. It's out near the 26-yard line. And CBS Monday is America's best night of television. Starting with the King of Queens. Yesterday, everybody loves Raymond Becker's CSI on a special night. And the Late Show with David Letterman. That's Monday on CBS.
That sounds like you when you call home all the time. Yes, dear.
Yes, dear.
Yes, dear.
It's 2nd down and 4. And they send Emmitt Smith into the grasp of Bullock. Is it a burden for the Cowboys as a team to continue to know that this great record is within reach of Emmitt this year? It doesn't become a burden?
I don't think so. You know, Dave Campbell is lucky to have a star like Emmitt Smith, who it's not about Emmitt. Emmitt's the first guy to tell you it's about winning. It's not about the record. It's not about him. It's about the Cowboys getting back to the playoffs and becoming a winning team again. And what makes that record so special, I mean, it's longevity, sure it is. It's a lot of luck, but it's also who held the record. It's Walter Payton, and as special as he is in the history of this game, it's Jim Brown who held it before him and how special he is
and Barry
to
Sanders
the history of this game. And for my money, Barry Sanders is better than all of them, and he never held it.
Third down and 1. Allen is back out as a left guard. Lair is back in the game. Emmitt Smith. Not much there. Tank Williams, who is a good-looking rookie and a high pick out of Stanford, made the play.
There's a lot there, though, Kev. They may not be wearing a star on their helmets, but there's a lot of blue there.
That's the second time that Smith has been stuffed on 3rd and 1 today.
And that's the fault of that offensive line. I'm sorry. 340, 350. You might as well be 250 or you get shoved into the backfield.
And again, Larry Allen was not in for that last play. He was in for 1st and 2nd down. They brought Lair back in, and Allen went hobbling out again. Good rush. Micah Norr's punt sent whistling downfield. Back at the 20-yard line is Mason. Dodges one. Oh, and sticking right with him the entire way was rookie 3rd-round pick Derek Ross. Who only started 1 year in Big Ten football, but was so impressive the Cowboys sent their 3rd-round pick his direction. A 50-yard punt, but the play after a Dallas punt. Tennessee at the 18, 1st and 10. McNair to Eddie George, and grabbed by Esteban along with Brandon Noble on that line. It's a gain of 2. 17 carries and 58 yards today for Eddie George.
And what a nice contrast from first half to second half if you're a Dallas Cowboys fan and your defense. They have been so much more aggressive these last 2 series. They look like they have just got, you know, they got the dog chains off. They got the ears ready to go. The slobber's working, and they're coming after that bone.
2nd down and 8. Here's McNair. A block by Hopkins, in time for McNair. Out to Eddie George. Spinning on a dime, and Coakley is right there to grab him at about the 26, 27-yard line. About a 6-7 yard gain, and Coakley is down and injured. With that in our camera, let's send you off to New York and Jim Nance.
All right, thank you, Kevin and Randy. How about this story today? The Patriots defense knocking it loose from Testaverde to Bucky Jones will run it in. It's 17-0 New England. The Jets in the 3rd quarter have 1 first down for the game. Let's go back now to Kevin and Randy.
Thank you, Jim. And interestingly enough, the Jets have beaten New England 4 of the last 5 times they've played. They've had their number, but not today.
Well, yeah, it's never really a good idea to bury the New York Jets since Herman Edwards has been there, because every time you turn around, they're doing something kind of like last week, just something special. He's got those guys in New York so convinced they can win almost at any time. 17 points. I mean, Bill Belichick's done a wonderful job, but that is not an insurmountable lead.
Dexter Coakley is down. We have an injury timeout at Texas Stadium in Irving.
Third down and 18.
By Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of Super Bowl 37. By Ford, no boundaries. By Best Buy, for the latest technology, turn on the fun at Best Buy. And by UPS, what can Brown do for you?
Edinger, Travis Jervey at the 10. Almost broke one earlier, and he almost broke one again. And Jervey, turn it on. Jervey is chased down finally at the 23-yard line of the Bears. Great return by Travis Jervey right up the middle.
And what a wedge it was. Those 4 guys in the middle.
That's a 19-yard pickup and a first down.
Nice strategy by Heimerdinger, the offensive coordinator of the Titans. Drew Bennett drug everything out deep with that pattern, and Roy Williams and Mason were underneath. And watch McNair stay and stay. That's the poise of a veteran quarterback. He knows that hit's coming. He just won't let it bother him until after he's thrown the ball.
McNair looks good as new.
He really, I mean, you can't say enough. The guy's played with too many severe injuries to say he's not the toughest guy at his position.
First down and 10 from the 46. McNair. Here they come. The ball deflected and intercepted. It's picked up by Dexter Coakley, and there he goes. What a block. Touchdown.
Kevin, if you remember that Dallas game last week, the big plays, the important plays were made by the Texans.
After the runner
Woodson
scored,
comes on the
personal
blitz.
foul. Unnecessary roughness defense, number 69 after the touchdown. That 15-yard penalty will be enforced on the kickoff. Touchdown.
But that was all about Woodson hitting McNair's arm, putting that ball up in the air, and the speed and timing of Coakley taking advantage of it.
That is his 5th career touchdown, Dexter Coakley. That's the game's first turnover. And the 2-time Pro Bowler comes up with a huge play, and the Dallas Cowboys have their first lead this afternoon.
How aggressive is this Cowboy defense? You gotta love it.
They're alive after hitting rock bottom last week in Houston, Texas. The Cowboys have come back from embarrassment to lead one of the best in the NFL, Steve McNair and the Tennessee Titans, 14-10, with 3:10 to play in the third quarter.
And I've talked a little bit about Zimmer, the defensive coordinator of Dallas, and how this second half he's made his adjustments and seen things that he can take advantage of in Tennessee's offense. Watch Woodson come from the top of the screen, come in on McNair. He feels him, he sees him, he just can't do anything about it, and that hand gets up just in time. Right hand, right arm. That ought to have a soundtrack saying quack, quack, quack. Coakley could have fair caught that one from Steve McNair.
McNair throws his second interception of the season, premiering Thursday on CBS. The new survivors are headed for Thailand, and we have a surprise plan for them. We guarantee you'll never figure it out. Don't miss the premiere of Survivor.
Well, if you'll never figure it out, you'll never figure out who the heck is going to survive this season in the league.
Oh, up for grabs. Survivor, Thursday, 8-7. Can I finish this?
Oh, go ahead.
Here, you finish it.
No, Survivor. Thursday, 7 Central on CBS.
All right, now go ahead. Yeah, who is going to survive? This is a shocking score right now.
Who knows? Survivor hasn't aired. We don't know who's going to win that. We got about as much as idea who's going to win the Super Bowl this year.
Well, when you take a look at a 5-11 New England team in 2000, winning it last year with a 2001 championship, yeah, everything is up for grabs.
Jeff Fisher's on the sideline, screaming at the front line of his return team to be alert. Get those hands up. Be ready if something comes near you. He seems to think there'll be an onside.
And because of the penalty on the touchdown, they kick off from the 45-yard line. This is Eddie Berlin in the end zone to a knee. And a touchback to the 20-yard line. And let's go down to the field and Beasley Reese.
All right, thanks a lot, guys. Dexter Coakley, before the touchdown, missed the play. Well, he has a left hip contusion. I believe that's a medical term, Randy Cross, for what we used to call a hip corner. Very, very sore. So on one play, he falls on the hip, has to come out of the game one play later. Touchdown. Back to you.
Yeah. Hip? What hip? Right now, the only hip that Coakley can remember is the one named I Am that played running back for Nebraska. The way he was running, there's nothing wrong with that hip.
Tennessee, 9 possessions today. 6 have started at their 20-yard line or worse. Mike Green has come in to join George. Camilla on the sideline.
Poise and patience here, Kevin.
And this is Eddie George. Robert Holcomb was in the backfield, but he has a fracture in his hip, so he's out. Green can play both running back positions. George picks up 2. It'll be second down and 8 yards to go.
Well, you know, there's bell cows for offenses, and there's certain terms people use for certain players on teams. Eddie George is just a Clydesdale. I mean, you just load up all those barrels, put it on the wagon, and hook Eddie George up, and he's supposed to pull your team. And right now, backed up the way they've been, he's got to get the tough yards, and McNair, though, has got to make the smart decisions.
Second down, short 8. The eyes and the look of Kevin Hardy. From the 22. Good time for McNair. And rifles it off. Caught by Drew Bennett, the former UCLA quarterback, close to a first down near the 30-yard line.
Had the first down when he caught it. Ran by the first down line, caught the ball, and then ran back inside the first down line if he doesn't have it.
They do give him the first down.
They do give it to him.
McNair looks sharp. You really can't say that the knock on the head he took in the first half has any effect here in the second half.
It's no surprise to me. I think the most significant thing you've got to talk about is the job this Dallas defense is doing against everybody in the Titans uniform so far this half.
On the 30.
Going blitz.
Goes down in 10. Picked up by George. Gets away from Myers. Throws to Green. Diving for a first down out to the 42-yard line. It's a pickup of 12. One block. The elusive McNair. Green holding onto it in a first down.
Eddie George didn't exactly step up and bone Roy Williams coming on the blitz. I mean, Roy Williams is coming here. Here comes Eddie George. He didn't hit him. He kind of impeded him. And then McNair escapes, gets the ball to Green. Look what Green does. How many moves he make? If you guess 0, you're right. He was just going straight ahead.
Green and George in the eye. It is a first down from the 42-yard line. Under a minute to play in the third quarter. A fake to George. A good block by Miller, and a first down pass caught by Derek Mason. He's near the 40-yard line. We'll call it the 41. And it's a pickup of 18 yards. This guy, there's probably been not a better receiver for one team in the entire NFL than Mason has been for the Titans over the last couple years.
And more importantly, too, in this offense and the other side to take the slack off him, you know, Dyson has his best year, but look at the room. You see where Hawthorne was when Mason caught the ball? Get up, be physical with these receivers, go after the quarterback. That's what was working.
Mason has another 100-yard game. First and 10, 40-yard line, Tennessee. Great time. Floats a pass, incomplete, almost picked off. Just that close, and Coakley was looking at number 2.
Oh, it must have been his hip. He missed it. Yeah, look at Steve. Steve's smiling, shaking his head. He knows he got away with one there. Because that was the fact that Dave Campo's defense was giving him the blitz. They were giving him the pressure. He steps up and makes a little bit too quick of a decision and throws the ball wrong. That's what you're looking. You're looking for a bad decision and a chance to create a turnover.
Green and George remain. Second down and 10 from the Cowboy 40-yard line. Here comes the blitz by Woodson. Picked up nicely by Green. Time for McNair. Down the sideline. Incomplete. They were working on DeJuan Hawthorne. Pass intended for Mason.
Might be working on Dwayne Hawthorne, but the store is closed. There's nothing to be bought. McNair throws it in the only place he could, and Hawthorne has perfect position.
That's the end of the...
After that touchdown is nullified.
Yeah, but I tell you, they come right back in. They bring James Fenderson in to give Deuce McAllister a little breather. And there you're seeing the New Orleans Saints offensive line creating some big running lanes right now. They're starting to take over this football game, and this is an area of concern for the Packers. They did not get off blocks well last week.
And look how successful the Saints have been. 5 for 7 on the third down conversions. McAllister checking back in there following Fenderson's 12-yard pickup. So it'll be third down and 5, and the pass is to Dante Stallworth. First down. And right now, the Packers can't stop the Saints, and they can't get anything going against their pressure. That's a double whammy.
And when you've got a quarterback who has the patience to drop the ball down in his progression and allow the receiver to run for the first down, it's a tough battle. And you see right here, what he's doing well is he's getting the ball to the receivers on the move. He's allowing Dante Stallworth to run after the catch. They don't have to stop and make an acrobatic catch or go down to the turf and dig it out. He's allowing them to run after the catch by hitting him in stride.
And Ed Donatel with the headset off, trying to figure out a way of curtailing the Saints. They lead 28-10. They have a first down at the 39 of Green Bay.
It looks like they're going to double the win total from a year ago.
Yeah.
Good Miller here on a big third down.
Miller chased, gets rid of.
With Randy Cross and Beasley Reese, Kevin Harlan, there you see Derek Mason, who now has 6 100-yard receiving games in his last 9, going back to last year. First play of the fourth quarter, 3rd and 10. McNair, a good pickup on the block. The pass incomplete as Hardy was draping the intended receiver, Frank Wycheck. And the Tennessee Titans have got a punt.
Dallas's defense continues to attack. Another blitz there by Woodson. Another blitz on the play before that by Williams. They are being aggressive and making Steve McNair get rid of the ball before the receivers have ran their timing routes and are ready for it.
Hendrick has had 2 blocked in his career. This one will get off safely and be fair caught. Nope, he signaled for the fair catch and lets it bounce to the 5. He should have caught it.
Wow.
Should have caught it. That was Joey Galloway. A 35-yard punt, and that will maroon Galloway and his offense.
Catch it. Nobody's going to hit you.
5-yard line, exactly. And much to the chagrin of Dave Campo. Thursday, September 26th on CBS. Every 30 seconds, someone disappears. You've read the stories of families torn apart. Now meet the team who can find the missing and bring them home. Without a Trace premieres Thursday, September 26th after CSI on CBS. Cowboys are not among the missing. They came out and they lead it 14-10 today over rugged Tennessee.
Here's where you need a running game, and here's where you need a real careful decision-making process by your quarterback.
It's Emmett Smith with the pitch. A Robert Thomas block, and Emmett trying to wheel around the corner. Nothing there. A loss, maybe a yard of the play. Peter Sermon coming up his first year as a full-time starter. It'll be 2nd down and 11.
And you also had Lance Schulters up there. They're going to play basically 9 in the box in this situation, and Schulters is, for all intents and purposes, a linebacker when they get in those spots. If you're Dallas, you have got to attack this defense inside. You can't run the perimeters against Tennessee. You run the perimeters as well as you can run the perimeter against Dallas. It rarely happens.
2nd down, 11 from the 4 for the Cowboys. Quincy Carter has got a touchdown pass today. Wobbly throw, incomplete. Looking for the tight end, James Whalen, who is a wide receiver at Kentucky. Bullock drilled him. Henry Ford was in on the quarterback.
This is pass rush time. This is Kevin Carter. This is Henry Ford.
Carter's been quiet today.
He has been. Here's Carter right here. Here's Ford right here. Get upfield. Look at running the game. Thornton goes in outside. Carter comes inside, and boy, Henry Ford gets right into Quincy Carter's ribs. Speaking of ribs, that couldn't have felt real good on James Whalen.
And he's down with an injury, and we take a timeout.
Opportunity to get that screen pass thrown, and it ended up being thrown right in the middle of a bunch of Green Bay.
Has that same mentality as well. Patience.
Patience. They stay with it. They believe in what they do, and you kind of see it right now. It's kind of paying off. They're staying with the run. 2 backs here. Probably run with Anthony Thomas right up the middle here.
Thomas again. Looking for room, finding none. Good play by the Atlanta defense. A lot of jerseys around it. Carpenter.
Yeah. Ball was out. Chris Draft came up with it.
Well, the Bears got a couple of those breaks. Now Chris Draft recovers for Atlanta. And they dodge a bullet.
Ball's in his right hand. Draft.
Howard, 3rd and 11. Wiley along with Hendrick in the game, and a pass outside is caught by wide receiver Kenyon Rambo, and he does pick up the first down for the Cowboys to the 16-yard line. Randy, on 3rd and 11, Carter splits it with a gain of 12 through the air.
That is impressive on 3 stands. One, not only Quincy Carter, the offensive line giving good protection with an all-out rush, trying to pinch that young quarterback, nothing doing. And Kenyon Rambo and the wide receivers getting to the spots they need to be. You know, that sounds simple. They get paid to be in the spots they're supposed to be in. Not many teams can get to the receivers exactly where a quarterback knows they'll be.
Emmitt Smith back in the game with Robert Thomas, and he is brought down at the 15-yard line, a loss of a yard. Haynesworth right there. We should mention Larry Allen, their great all-pro left guard, still out. They got Lair in there, continuing to man that post.
And not having Larry Allen in there just further hurts the coordination. I've talked about the blocking schemes and the coordination that's needed by the offensive line. And you've seen they're kind of like a typewriter, if anybody remembers what a typewriter looks like. One key at a time hits. An offensive line has to act as 5 guys with one motion.
Second down, 11 from the 15 for Carter. A pump fake, good block on Bullock, and a pass downfield, bobbled and brought in, reeled in by the rookie Antonio Bryant. They say he was down. The completion is good for 44 yards, and the Cowboys strike pay dirt as they work on Andre Dyson, and the Biletnikoff winner, the best receiver in college football, picks up a big one there.
You know, after Sunday night's game, a lot of people, I'm sure, here in Dallas were saying, these guys stink. You know, and right about now, you've got to be saying, this guy and this guy, first comments have got to be, well, how do I smell from here? Throwing it and catching it exactly how they were paid to do it.
It's a first down from the 41. Emmitt Smith hesitates and then bursts for 3 to the 38. Kevin Carter was there to get one hand on him, and the secondary jumped in to grab him. It'll be a second down and 7.
You have to be impressed, too, with Quincy Carter when he throws a little bit of a longer ball, how soft the ball is. I mean,
that's a good point.
The ball kind of floats into the receiver's hand. It doesn't thud into the receiver's hand.
Runs through a tackle. Charlie Clemens got to wrap him up on the sideline, but he is a perfect fit for this West Coast style of offense for the Packers.
He got 11 yards on that play from the 36 now of the Saints. And
Jerome Bolden has been tested out here today. He was a guy that was a little nicked up with a bad hamstring coming into the game, making his second NFL start. Was with the Falcons, was released, went up to Canada, came back, got a spot, but he's held up to the challenge so far today.
And that's the end of the third quarter with the score Chicago 14.
Six-yard line by Ty Law. Here's the Jets wing of the Patriot pen.
Breaking bridge. Now get the most minutes to use whenever. Introducing T-Mobile. Get more.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by...
Back and ready to go.
An intercepted deflected pass from Steve McNair, hauled in by Dexter Coakley. He rumbled 53 yards and got the touchdown, and that put the Cowboys on top. Otherwise, McNair has thrown a touchdown pass. Quincy Carter, the young second-year Georgia quarterback, has thrown a touchdown pass. Nedney with the field goal. But this is the same Dallas Cowboy team we mentioned moments ago that was humiliated last Sunday night in Houston against the expansion Texans.
And how often is it that things turn off mistakes? For all the offensive stats and the positives of the Cowboys, their biggest play of the game is Dexter Coakley taking that floating ball away from Steve McNair and returning it for a touchdown. And now the Titans and Jeff Fisher's big job is try to overcome that. First job of overcoming a bad play that puts you in a hole isn't so much getting your offense on the field, it's getting the other guy's offense off the field.
We saw Steve McNair, whose injury in the first half a concern for Jeff Fisher. Second down and 7. Cowboys have this field position with a long 44-yard pass completion to the rookie Antonio Bryant. Good fake, a seductive move by Carter. Winds up and to the end zone. Caught by Joey Callaway. Touchdown.
Quincy Carter getting the protection that enables him to keep going after Samari Rolle. Getting the help from Lance Schulters, but Joey Galloway never gets off the ball. And Quincy Carter throws it to the perfect spot, and he throws that softball I was telling you that's easily caught.
Billy Cundiff extra point. Joey Galloway hauls in his first touchdown pass of the season. Quincy Carter has thrown his second touchdown strike of the game.
I liked your turn, too. That was a very seductive play-action fake that bought him the time, that kept the rush off Quincy Carter. And this is the Quincy Carter these Cowboy fans saw at the end of 2000.
But Thomas goes straight ahead.
You know, good backs. It seemed like that's when they gain a lot of their yards in the fourth quarter. John Shoup over there. I don't know if he needs that chart to call probably this next run. But, you know, big backs like Jamal Anderson 4 years ago in that Super Bowl run, he'd get a lot of his yards in the fourth quarter, wearing guys down. And Anthony Thomas has that type of, mindset. Just keep feeding him.
2nd and 4. Thomas the deep back. Miller fakes to him.
Oh, he's got
him deep. He's got him. Oh. Des White had it in his sights and had a touchdown.
And it was at the most perfect setup, Pat. I mean, we're talking about the running game, and they fake the run, and, you know, and then they get the outside, and one-on-one Des White on Ashley Ambrose. Little lulls him to sleep. See the speed of White. Jim Miller can't throw it better.
Can't throw it much better than that.
And Miller stayed in there, and he takes a wallop.
Keeps looking.
He said, I'm not going to hit him with my head or my shoulder. I'll just throw my hip at him.
That was a big miscue there. That was 6. Miller takes a timeout. It was there. It was delivered by Jim Miller.
Service, Unisys, imagine it, done. And by the all-new Accord from Honda. It's more Accord than ever.
Cowboys just got a long touchdown pass to Joey Galloway. 21-10, the Cowboys. The ensuing kickoff by Micah Noll. John Simon, a rookie free agent from Louisiana Tech. Blocked by Chamberlain, and the elusive Simon with a 23-yard return to the 24-yard line. Now all eyes on Steve McNair.
This is Steve McNair versus the Dallas defense, pure and simple.
Continue after a word from your local Fox station.
Yo, Busta Rhymes.
For the exciting second-year player out of Wisconsin. 2nd and 6. Crowd trying to play a role here. They've been quiet throughout the afternoon. Fiedler throws it complete. McMichael and another.
And the Patriots content to let the clock run out here at the end of the third quarter without running a play.
So the end of 3 periods. 27-7, the New England Patriots lead the Jets, and will return to Giants Stadium right after this message and a word from your local station.
The amazing race is back. Go! 12 new teams.
3rd and 6, the ball at the Atlanta 47. Miller drops to throw it. Finally gets rid of it. Oh, what a play.
Oh,
what a play.
All the way around.
Yeah.
Unbelievable catch by Baxter, but Miller almost.
How did he get out of this?
How did he get rid of the football?
I don't know.
I mean, we said that this offseason spent a lot of time staying in the pocket, staying patient. He had to re-grip that ball. The ball came out of his hands.
Yeah.
Watch this. I think he threw it.
He just threw it.
He just palmed it.
Thomas gets a yard. Ellis Johnson.
And when they're done attacking, they attack again.
From the 24, Green and George in the backfield. 1st and 10. The scrambling McNair has to get to the 33. Gets a block from Green and tumbles close to a first down. Dexter Coakley collared him.
And I very think this Dallas defense just keeps coming after Steve McNair. That wasn't a blitz. I think we're going to see plenty of blitzes. Coakley's played that game. Hardy's played well. Defensive coordinator Mike Zimmer's called an excellent game. Keep going after McNair and company. If you keep blitzing, that means he's got to find Whitecheck. He's got to dump it to Eddie George. And somehow, some way, he's got to get Derek Mason.
Good game for Hardy. 2nd down 1. Green is out. George remains. He gets the pitch. There's a block by Olsen. And a 1st down run. Brandon Noble got him. Ball coughed up, but they blow it dead. And there is a Titan lineman down. That is Benji Olsen, whose block kind of sprung George free.
Just a quick flip. A quick crack coming in from the outside by Dyson. Look at Noble. That's what happens when a true defensive lineman hits a defensive lineman in a scat back, or a scat back in a defensive lineman's body. The running back goes sideways.
Prior to the snap, false start. The 36-yard line and is knocked back.
Green. Well, underneath, and it's complete to Deion Branch, who had 6 catches in the win against the Steelers Monday night. Beasley and Darling, the tackler, as young Tom Brady, another perfect throw.
The youngest quarterbacks to win. Exactly, but so close to the same age. And then Tom Brady, who rolled in there and owns it all to himself right now. And Dick, as you watch Brady throw, I'm just marveling at his accuracy. He is a decisive decision maker, but when he decides where he's going with the ball, it is a laser.
1st down handoff to Falk. And let's see what else is happening in the NFL on this 2nd weekend.
Free, and he's thrown 2 touchdowns, including this strike to Joey Galloway as the Cowboys lead the Titans 21-10 with 10 minutes to play. Let's go back to Dick and Dan.
All right, Jim, bouncing back from that stunner down at Houston last week, the Cowboys.
Can you imagine how bad a week they had? Oh, I can't imagine.
In Dallas, their love for the Cowboys. Inside handoff to Mark Edwards, and on.
Broiled Whopper from Burger King, America's favorite burger. At BK, you've got it.
With Randy Cross and Beasley Reese, Kevin Harlan sold out Texas Stadium in Irving, Texas. From the 38, Tennessee, 1st down and 10.
This is the team Cowboy fans came to see, and they sound like they like it.
McNair with the block from Hopkins. Here comes the pocket crumbling. It's incomplete. Was there a receiver in the vicinity? There goes the flag. Intentional grounding on McNair. You can throw it with a crumbling pocket at the feet of a receiver.
Eddie George was right in the general area.
There was not a foul for intentional grounding on the play. Number 27 was the player there to whom the ball was thrown.
You called
2nd down.
I believe Eddie George was screened out, and they couldn't see him. See, Eddie George just goes bumping in there. He's going to be right in the general area where the ball's thrown. There's Leroy Glover. Watch Eddie George come through. Watch where the ball's thrown. Eddie George is right back there. He was right in the general area, and that's all it takes. We're taking care of the quarterback these days, and Campo wants to take care of the crowd.
2nd down and 10. Mike Green has joined George in the backfield. McNair. Here comes Ellis. There goes the pass. It's deflected. And on the carom, incomplete. Off of Mike Green. And a receiver downfield was Drew Bennett. Incomplete pass.
I wrote down on my paper before this game started, Kevin, look for Dallas emotion. And the Dallas emotion, Greg Ellis gets in there at the last second, disrupts McNair. Ball is tipped, ball hits the ground, Bennett can't get it. Zimmer's defense has really just embodied that emotion to Dallas, and McNair has missed his last 5 passes.
It's 3rd down and 10 from the 37-yard line. Here comes Ellis. The elusive McNair gets away. Hit as he throws and incomplete downfield. Dexter Coakley was there covering the great tight end Frank Wycheck. And Zimmer's defense does it again. The Tennessee Titans and Steve McNair have got a punt.
Boy, is this crowd in Dallas loving the defense they're seeing. Look at Ellis just throw Fred Miller aside. Flush McNair out of the pocket. And I'll tell you what, if Dexter Coakley needs a hip pointer every week to play football like this, they're going to line up with ball-peen hammers to hit him in the leg before every game.
Hentrick the punt. Joey Galloway is deep back. And back at the 10-yard line, he breaks 1 tackle and then finally doused by Darrell Hill, losing 3 after the 52-yard punt. It was questionable whether he should have retrieved that punt or not.
Decision process and Joey Galloway right now are not exactly synonymous.
This week on The Late Show with David Letterman, don't miss Mike Myers, Matthew Perry, The Vines, Alicia Keys, and Bruce Springsteen, and the E Street Band. Monday, Dave welcomes Al Pacino and New York Yankee Roger Clemens. It's all this week. A great lineup on The Late Show right here on CBS. So Quincy Carter's thrown 2 touchdown passes. Dexter Coakley has picked off a deflected Steve McNair pass, who himself has thrown a touchdown. And that's the story. Young Quincy Carter, who is in the eye of so many issues in the press here in Dallas this week after the loss last week in Houston. 1st and 10. Emmitt Smith, Bullock and Sermon, Chamberlain, all linebackers there to make the stop.
And this game has really turned on a lot of emotional issues and emotional plays. Not only turnovers, McNair going out and being hurt, Emmitt Smith not being able to run behind that offensive line of Dallas because they're just not blocking well. And the defenses have really turned this thing around, especially the aggressiveness and emotion of the defenses. I mean, Emmitt Smith only has 9 yards in the second half. The offensive line is not doing their job, and the defenses are in charge of the turning points of this game. Tennessee's up. It's their chance.
2nd down, 10 from the 8. Carter quickly outside for Galloway, incomplete, covered by Roll.
That was close.
Yellow on the field.
That was close. It's one thing a defensive back will do, and no one knows better than Deion Sanders back in New York, because he never had to grab. He was too fast. But when things start going a little squirrely, a little sideways, the first instinct is to grab a little. And I'm sorry, Samari did grab a little. He just didn't get caught or called for it.
He may not be 100%. He missed 3 preseason games because of a right ankle. Today he has been torched by Galloway a couple times, including a long touchdown pass. It's 3rd and 10.
Yeah, I guess preseason's not important.
Michael Wiley zigzags his way to the 11th, picking up 3. 4th down, and the Tennessee defense does their job.
I tell you, the running backs for Dallas are going to have to get bigger pads. Dave Campbell's going to have to give them all rib pads, big thigh pads, and lineman shoulder pads, because they've got to play against 3 or 4 guys at a time the way that offensive line is blocking.
Mike Anor is back to punt as you take a look at Wiley, who will be the personal protector. Nor's had some block in his past.
Not a quick snap, but it's a 2-step kick.
Eric Mason back in midfield. And a good punt. Jacks it up high. Mason looking up into the sun, lost the ball and waved it off, and it's out of bounds at the 36.
That was a lucky break for Tennessee there. That ball could have easily rolled forward for another 20 yards.
That's a 53-yard punt. The newest survivors are headed to Thailand for an all-new adventure. Don't miss the premiere of the all-new Survivor Thailand. That's Thursday at 8, 7 Central on CBS.
Yeah, you live in Kansas City, Kevin, with all those great barbecue places. Yep. You think there's going to be a little, lizard and snake barbecue and,
bug barbecue.
There's stuff crawling on the ground and in the trees. It's going to be 8 in Thailand. And
take us inside this Tennessee huddle.
The Tennessee huddle right now is trying to figure out what this Dallas defense is doing to it. The first thing they have to do is they have to reassume physical control of this football game.
After the punt from the 37, 1st and 10. Best starting position of the day. Down he goes!
Greg Ellis again.
Greg Ellis got him. And for Ellis of the Dallas Cowboys, his first sack.
A soft shoulder is when the lineman gets out of position and gets fooled and gives the guy a soft shoulder inside. Fred Miller bites on the outside move. Look at the inside. There's nowhere. I mean, McNair can't step up. Now McNair's getting protection Quincy Carter had last week.
2nd down, 17 inside the 30-yard line for Steve McNair. The short drop, and that's the result. A quick strike, caught for a first down. Made by Dyson, make it a 9-yard gain up to the 39-yard line. Make it the 40.
And that's what this offense needs. That's what this quarterback needs. 1, 2, 3, zap. That ball's out of there. Good play call by Mike Heimerdinger upstairs. The offensive line struggling a little bit. 3 down linemen. They won't rush 3. They'll blitz.
3rd down and 7. Quick drop again. Bobbled. Incomplete. Roy Williams almost had it on the deflection. The pass intended for Drew Bennett. And Tennessee 3 and out.
Well, if you like defense, you got to love this football game. And I guarantee you one thing. You look around the NFL today, you're not going to see all that scoring you saw last week. A lot of that was an issue of conditioning and players just not being ready to go. Scoring will reassume its moderate stand starting this week.
Hentrick to punt, and Joey Galloway stands and ready inside the 20-yard line. Oh, and a fake, and Hentrick, a former high school quarterback, throws outside, caught by Craig Camilla. Dancing for a first down near the 45, make it the 43-yard line of the Dallas Cowboys.
And look at Jeff Fisher on the sideline. Does he love that?
What a great call by Alan Lowry.
Yeah, it's the gambler and the coach. It's another thing you got to love about Jeff Fisher. He will take the chances. Good scouting by Alan Lowry, the special teams coach. And it's easy to say, great call. It's another thing to say, boy, do you execute this well. The punt return team is blasting off the ball, looking in another direction. Good execution by Henrich. Nice catch by Greg Camella. He threw that like an old wishbone quarterback, not like a passing quarterback.
43-yard line. It's 1st and 10 for Steve McNair. And a quick throw, almost intercepted, and deflected, incomplete, almost hauled in by Derek Ross. On a pass intended for tight end Frank Wycheck. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
You know, and that's part of the emotions and the momentum of a football game. When things are going right, you catch these on the first try. When things are going wrong, the other guys have 2 or 3 chances to catch the same ball you missed.
2nd down and 10. Wycheck has not caught a pass in the second half.
Under 6 minutes.
43-yard line, 2nd down and 10. McNair rifles a pass, which is hauled in by Mason, held by Woodson, wrestled out of bounds at the 35. It's a gain of 8.
What a nice play by Hawthorne. Can't do anything about the completion when it's done. Once it's done, but your job once that completion is made is to be sure they gain no more yards. Perfect tackle.
Woodson, one of the best in the Cowboys' history. The Tennessee 3rd down story today. 35-yard line. It is 3rd and 2. McNair, everything's a short drop. That's almost picked off by Hawthorne. It's incomplete. McNair has been on the edge over the last couple passes. Joe Nedney will come out. The Dallas defense will hold Tennessee to the 3-point try.
And it's 1, 2, 3, cut. Here comes the ball. Both receivers, they're not trying anything down the field with the way this Dallas defense is manhandling things up front right now. They're being safe.
Nedney is a perfect 3 of 3 this season. His long, 51 yards. This is 53. This would be a career long or tie a career long. And it's good. Tying a career long 53-yard field goal by Joe Nedney. Tennessee cashes in on a fake punt.
Line.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense number 69. Their defense has to come up big. Handoff, Ricky Williams. They haven't been able to stop him today. And they still cannot. Ricky Williams cuts to the outside. Well, why do you go out of bounds there is the question.
Yeah, you have to keep your mind about you and try to stay in bound. Other than that, excellent job by Ricky Williams.
And the all-new Ion. It's different in a Saturn.
It's Matt Damon and Lucy Lawless versus the Mac Man.
He fought a warrior princess.
Hi. Oh. Who will win?
This is gonna be ugly, America.
Bernie Mac season premiere at its new time, 8, 7 Central. Followed by the premiere of Cedric the Entertainer presents.
You mean big. You win the game for us right here. We've got Emmitt Smith, one of the greatest runners who's ever carried a football. You guys block, you eat up the clock. Tennessee has no hope if we just get first downs going down the field.
Nedney's kickoff will go into the end zone with Kenyon Rambo about 9-10 yards deep. Interesting you bring that up. The Cowboys since 1999 have lost 12 games after leading during the fourth quarter.
There's certain times, especially in the last 4 or 5 minutes of the game, Dave Campo has not had the luxury of going away with the ball and hiding, mainly because Dave Campo and the Cowboys have not had the lead. Because they've had it for a while, and then bang, it disappears.
Larry Allen is out still. They got Lair at that left guard, and Emmitt Smith is back there with Robert Thomas in the backfield.
You know, an old guy who hasn't practiced is just as good probably as a new guy that hasn't practiced. So you're not really hurt that much. I think your coordination, and it's a lot of want to here. You've got to run the ball and take time off the clock.
Quincy Carter has thrown 2 touchdowns today. Pump fakes here. Galloway held by Roll. A obvious call on the sideline and a penalty flag on Samari Roll, who has had a dreadful afternoon.
What a nice call by Bruce Coslett. Go to that play action, that quick fake, and we talked about Roll. Guys get desperate, they grab.
Pass interference, defense, number 21. The ball is placed at the spot of the foul, first down.
But realistically, Kevin, there are dumb grabs and there are smart grabs. If the guy's going to run by you, especially a guy with that much speed, that's a smart move. You're not giving up 50 yards on a pass or possible points. You're just giving up a penalty. But that's not the last time you're going to see Joey Galloway and Samari Roll hooking up on the pass. They will go after Roll.
So with the penalty, 1st and 10 from the 35-yard line for Carter. It's Emmitt Smith. Big hole for Emmitt Smith. Bouncing outside, and there he goes. He's brought down by Schulters. His best run of the day takes the Cowboy offense after a gain of 22 by number 22.
The only thing better than going ugly early is going ugly late. Look at the right side of this offensive line for the Dallas Cowboys and how they block. Garmin, Garrard, Page, excellent blocking, excellent running. That is how you revive an Emmitt Smith after getting absolutely nothing earlier in this half.
57 yards for Emmitt Smith today. Now taking a rest with Hambrick. Is heir apparent in the backfield with Thomas. It is a first down for the Cowboys inside the Tennessee 44. Hambrick. Chamberlain fell on him. Also a stop in the secondary by Tank Williams. A gain of 1. 2nd down and 9 coming up from the 42.
And now you're inside sort of the game here, folks. You're seeing the strategy of a football game. You saw that earlier play where Samari Roll had to grab Joey Galloway. Then a big run by Dallas. If you're Jeff Fisher's defense, are you worried more about getting somebody beat behind you? Or do you know that Dallas wants to come out and pound you? What if they come out and pound you and they fake the ball and go deep again? I mean, this is the thing coaches live and die with, and this is honestly the things that coaches and coordinators love this part of the football game.
Dallas has 3 timeouts. Tennessee has 2. Second down, 9 outside the 42. Here comes Bullock. There goes the pass. Almost intercepted, incomplete. Chamberlain had it. They came from his blind side as they got around Flozell Adams on the left tackle.
And look at Bullock. Free hit on the quarterback. Coming around. You see the arms go out wide? That's the patented LT move, they have to call that, because that move is designed to come back down around the quarterback, hit the ball, hit the arm, try to cause a turnover. More of the strategy, more of the cat and mouse, more of the what are you going to do and what can I do to you before you can do what you want to do.
That's a lot to do.
That's a lot of doing.
Third down and 9 inside the 43.
Blitz.
Carter. It's picked up by Wiley. Carter's got time. Going deep, and he's got a receiver. Incomplete for Darnay Scott. The much-traveled veteran who's been let go twice by different teams this past summer, but signed to Dallas this Tuesday.
Look at the protection. Carter's got a hole to step up to. He's hit late. It's meaningless. The receiver is there. The ball isn't. Good protection. Just the execution is a step off.
So Micah Noor will punt to Derek Mason, who's inside the 10. Again, Mason had trouble with the sun the last time this punt went coming his way.
And it hasn't gotten any cloudier.
Noor has had 4 punts inside the 20 today. But this one will go to the end zone. 42-yard punt. Monday, September 23rd on CBS. The network that brought you CSI takes you to a whole new world of crime scene investigation. CSI Miami. That premieres Monday, September 23rd here on CBS.
I know one thing in Miami. It's been a crime what they've been doing on offense since Dan Marino left. Now they got Ricky Williams back. I think they got a chance of really helping that defense out. That's always been a strong contributor.
21-13. Jeff Fisher has 2 timeouts and 3:21 with which to work in the fourth quarter.
We're back to that word again, Kevin. Patience. Don't get greedy. Be patient.
After the Dallas punt, a touchback to the 21st and 10. McNair. In his face was Ellis, and he dumps it off to his running back. Eddie George is finally brought down by Leroy Glover. It's a gain of 9. Second down 1. Again, the Titans with 2 timeouts and the clock ticking.
Think about the experience on this Tennessee football team. That's why you won't see any panic in this football team. They've been in this position before.
On the 29, second down and 1. Good block by Hopkins. Wide open. Frank Wycheck, who dives to the 43 as a 14-yard gain on the play. His first second half reception.
You know, Mike Heimerdinger said it the best about Frank Wycheck. He doesn't get a lot of receptions, but when he gets them, they're important. Look at him do his best imitation. I'm flying. Gravity can be a cruel thing when you're not one of those skilled people.
First and 10, 44-yard line for McNair. Here comes the Woodson blitz. It's picked up. What a great block by Eddie George. Time for McNair. It's incomplete to Wycheck. Wycheck was drawing some attention downfield.
And Rory Williams, the rookie safety, 31, came in right at the end as that ball went over and looked like he was about to deliver a lick. And if he had delivered that lick, that would have been one of those dumb mistakes that they made last week, because that would have been a penalty. He pulled off right at the last second.
Well, McNair has struggled over his last 14, 15 passes.
Well, he's 4 of the last 14, but I got to give Dave Campos' defense a lot more of the credit for that rate than anything else.
Second down, 10 up at the 44-yard line. Again, the Titans with a couple timeouts and 2:42 to play in the fourth quarter. McNair brings it back in, has to get to the 46-yard line of Dallas, runs for his life and forced out of bounds by Roy Williams. And again, that sideline has not been good for McNair, who earlier in the game went crashing into a bench and a big equipment trunk on the side and was out for a couple series.
I mean, quarterbacks at times have got to feel like they're out jogging in a dog-infested neighborhood with pockets full of ribs. And there are just dogs coming after them. They don't want a piece. Roy Williams wants a piece. Hardy wants a piece.
Last time he was on the sideline, this is what happened in the first half.
Same sideline, different result. Bangs up the head, the shoulder, the arm, the leg. A body contusion. 3rd and long coming up.
9 to go. They've got to get to the Dallas 46-yard line.
The Cowboy fans are bringing the noise.
McNair, the blitz is picked up and down he goes from the blind side. Greg Ellis with his 2nd sack in the half and the 3rd Dallas sack of McNair today.
And what they're doing is they are just intimidating the front line. Fred Miller loses on the stunt, has to pick up a linebacker. Ellis is freed up inside, and that's a sack.
Rugged day for Steve McNair, who is crushed by Ellis, who has 4 tackles and 2 sacks today.
So, folks, if you saw the game Sunday night against the Houston Texans, this is more of the Dallas Cowboys, especially the Dallas defense, that people expected to see. Tough, emotional defense based on speed.
Because few people would not say that they did not hit rock bottom last week against Houston.
Well, they came in and they looked ill-prepared and they looked arrogant. And ill-prepared, arrogant teams always lose.
Hendrick had a fake the last time he was back to punt. Joey Galloway back inside the 25. And fair caught back at the 12. 52-yard punt. Coming Friday, September 27th.
Against St. Louis a couple of years ago. They said the ball can touch the ground as long as
that is, and they make it.
How often, week after week, Jeff Fisher says games turn off big plays. And that was the big play. Tom Coughlin told us last week, we have to overcome that big mistake. It's almost impossible to overcome more than one.
Fisher in Tennessee had beaten 9 consecutive NFC foes.
Well, there's 2 minutes left, so they still have
a chance. Dallas has 3 timeouts. Tennessee has 2. Emmitt Smith. And he is inhaled as he crosses the 13 out to the 14-yard line. And he picks up a yard. Timeout taken. 2.
I think he's going to cry.
Dan just got a little gray there.
Those of you who watched Tampa Bay beat Baltimore, welcome to Atlanta. At the Georgia Dome. It's 14-13 Chicago, and Vick gets away from one tackle by Urlacher, who comes back again, and finally he throws it incomplete.
Well, that's got to be, at least it's got to be, he's in the pocket there. There's got to be intentional grounding in the pocket, but Urlacher comes free on the blitz and pressures him here, and Vick is just trying to get rid of this football. And here comes Urlacher. I mean, the chase is on. He's just trying to get rid of this football. That should be intentional grounding.
Loss of 16 yards.
I don't know how they can't call that.
I don't either. 14-13 score, 3:54 left. Falcons have to punt. Chris Moore back deep. Leon Johnson back deep.
A grinder and the element of chip blocking become a more complete back. Boy, Holcomb really.
Be coached. Pass to the 21-yard line. Be well short of.
Quincy Carter has thrown 2 touchdown passes. Dexter Coakley had an interception return for a touchdown. 21-13 the Dallas Cowboys. big improvement for Carter from last week to this in his 10th career start this afternoon.
How important would it be to Dallas to win a game like this? You only got to look at their schedule to figure that out. They've got a really tough month.
Third down, 13. The block by Wiley in time for Carter. What a catch on the side by Rambo, but shy of a first down. 17-yard line, a pickup of 8. Dallas has got a punt. Yeah, the Cowboys go to Philadelphia next week, then to St. Louis, then to the Giants here. I mean, they were looking at an 0-4 September very clearly.
And Dave Campo's goal has got to be to get out of the month of December. Ideally, best case scenario, 2-2 is wonderful with those teams.
You take it.
He has to leave.
Yeah, he's got to leave the field.
Dick Giron talking with the referee, Jeff Triplett, as the Bears are moved back up to their own 26.
That looks like one of those baseball umpires.
Yeah.
Manager coming out there and getting right in the face.
Big cat.
And McAllister on 1st and goal from the 5 gets to about the 2. And 2.5 minutes showing on the clock here in the 4th quarter. It has been a truly uphill climb for the Packers all day. But if the Saints can get into the end zone, it will be a climb that they're not going to reach. McAllister with 121 yards. Had his career game a week ago. And has surpassed it here. He had 108 yards last week. 2nd and goal, and here is McAllister, and he'll walk in for the touchdown.
For just $299.99. And a 2-room RCA DirecTV system is just $29.99 after a $70 Radio Shack mail-in rebate.
There's just one thing that's missing. A cup holder.
Radio Shack. You've got questions, we've got answers.
Peacekeepers patrolling the streets are the easy part. The tough part is putting Afghanistan back together. See for yourself tonight on 60 Minutes.
It was the eviction heard around the world.
What were you thinking?
Who will go next?
Everyone needs to suck it up because Mama's in charge.
All new Big Brother, CBS Wednesday.
Cowboys on top, 21-13. They got a punt. Mike Anor. Oh, and it was just about blocked by Eric Morris. Again, losing it in the sun is Derek Mason. It takes a Tennessee bounce to midfield, a 33-yard punt. Now Tennessee out of timeouts, and they're down 21-13. They can obviously come back and tie with a touchdown and 2.
And the Dallas Cowboys under Dave Campo today have just had a game that when you're a coach, you say, here's what we need to do. We want all odds, all zeros down the line here, but you got 0 turnovers, 2 penalties, or 0. I mean, it's pure. What they've done so far is the exact opposite of what they did against Houston Sunday. This is a better indication of what the Dallas Cowboys are for 2002 than last week was.
For the first time today, rookie free agent John Simon in the backfield, and McNair is in the gun. 1st down and 10. McNair winds up and throws. Dyson with the catch and a 1st down grab, working on Mario Edwards. It's a gain of 19 yards. Clock continuing to go.
Remember, this is the same team that came up a yard or so short against the Rams in a couple Super Bowls ago. So they don't have much fight. They got lots of no quit in them.
32-yard line, 1st and 10 for Tennessee in Dallas territory, and a flag goes up. Benji Olsen, by the way, back in the game at the guard.
Before the ball was snapped, false start. Offense number 75. 5-yard penalty. It's still 1st down.
Yeah, he heard you.
Yeah, he must have. The aforementioned Olsen.
And in these situations, it's about not only like patience I keep hammering about, but it's also about poise. You can't hold in this situation. You can't jump in this situation. And if the ball gets near you, you got to catch it.
1st and 15 back at the 37 of Dallas for Tennessee. He's got time and he goes outside. Maybe it was deflected. It's incomplete. Whistling over the head of Frank Wycheck. Covered on the play by rookie Roy Williams. 2nd and 15.
There's something right there that Dallas missed. Dallas was a little bit clueless on that last play because no one covered Derek Mason. Mason gets down at the bottom of the screen. Watch the receivers at the bottom. They go out, there's no one there to cover him.
Simon in the backfield, Tennessee no timeout, 2nd down and 15 to go. From the 37 of Dallas. McNair rifles a pass downfield, and it is incomplete to Kevin Dyson. Hit the turf, good call from the side. It is now 3rd and 15 with 1:12 to play.
No skipsies. Can't have skipsies, they don't count. Ball comes up, skips, good catch,
yeah,
but it's a skipsy. Only in jacks can you have skipsies.
If you say so. McNair today is 20 of 36, 3rd and 15, 37-yard line. 4 receivers deployed.
Now's when you bring the pressure.
McNair winding up. Wobbly pass. He was hit as he threw. Incomplete. No yellow on the field. They were going for Dyson, who was in a double-team vice in the end zone.
Wow. If McNair has another second, this is the touchdown. Dyson is wide open.
So it kind of comes down to this for the Tennessee Titans without any timeouts. They've got 4th and 15. They're down by 21-13, 8 points. At the 37-yard line of Dallas, they've got to get to the Dallas 22-yard line.
You find Mason. You don't let Mason hurt you here.
And someone moved.
Movement.
Delay of game offense. 5-yard penalty. It's still 4.
Now it's all the longer, all the tougher.
Say in this situation for Jeff Fisher's offense, 5 more yards is not that big a deal. When you're looking at 3rd and that or 4th and that long, you gotta strap it on right here, and you've got to find a way to get this first down if you're Steve McNair. And right now is when you find out who your money men are for 2002 for the Titans.
4th and 20 from the Dallas 42 for Tennessee. Here comes Ellis. There goes McNair. Wobbly pass and incomplete. Tennessee has no timeouts. Dallas will take over. Up by 8, 58 seconds to play. And to think where this Cowboy franchise has gone in the span of 7 days, from rock bottom, becoming the first team to lose to an expansion ball club on opening day in 41 years, to now pulling an upset over one of the tougher teams in the AFC, the Tennessee Titans.
Yeah, they covered everything they have to do today. Excellent form, excellent preparation, excellent execution by Dave Campbell's football team. Number 1 on their to-do list, you better develop a running game. You're going to be playing teams in the NFC East. You're going to be playing the St. Louis Rams. You better get Emmitt Smith in that running game going, because if you can run with this defense as aggressive as they are, you are going to have one tough football team.
The executive producers of the NFL on CBS, Sean McManus and Tony Petitti. The coordinating director, Larry Cavallina. Today's game produced by Bob Dekas and directed by Steve Milton. The senior producer of the NFL Today, Eric Mann, directed by Bob Mattina. The coordinating producer of CBS Sports, Harold Bryant. Associate director of today's game, Fred Johnson. The broadcast associate, Jonathan Siegel. And the technical manager, Rick Godwin. Quincy Carter threw 2 touchdown passes today, and Dexter Coakley returned an interception, 53 yards for a touchdown on a deflected Steve McNair pass. And he hands a tough defeat to Jeff Fisher, and the Titans will drop to 1-1, and Dallas will go to 1-1 this season.
And I've said it a few times today, Kevin, but week 2 is a much better indication of what your football team is than week 1. The challenge now for Dave Campo and his team, build from here, get better, more discipline, better decisions. For Jeff Fisher and his football team, you lost a tough game. You've got a good football team. Just get it back on board, get it back on track, and keep doing what you're doing.
For Randy Cross and Beasley Reese, Kevin Harlan saying so long from Dallas, Texas.
Quarterback sneak with the clock running at 1:02 left. Now it stopped while they unpile. 1:01.
Come out and measure this.
Yep. It's a break for Atlanta.
Last week their kicker Feely kicked a 52-yarder to send it into overtime.
About a foot short.
Yeah,
here comes Feely. You got to kick it. You can't take the chance of going for a first and not making it, and then
this is the
having
chance.
all kind of things go awry.
Well, like I said, they had a drill just like this at the end of the game in Lambeau, regulation time. And he set it up with 52 yards last week.
Welcome those of you who watched the New Orleans Saints beat Green Bay. Welcome to the Georgia Dome, where we're down with just about a minute left to play. And a field goal attempt as the Bears call a timeout. And they're out of timeouts.
All right, Pat, I always wanted to ask somebody this.
Yeah.
You know, that timeout to try to freeze the kicker. Does it work? Does it give you more time to kind of collect your thoughts and think about it? What's the best approach?
I don't know what these guys think. But it never bothered me. This is earlier. Feely from 50 yards. And he was just short with that one. So he's got the leg. He's got the distance to get it there. But you sort of block out everything.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not conscious that there's anybody in the stands or anybody else on the field but you.
Or your owner, Arthur Blank, is looking down on you like that.
You're not thinking about Arthur Blank.
No.
But he's thinking about you. Feely with a minute left. Both teams out of timeouts. Maynard to hold it. Feely the kicker. Plenty of distance this time. And no good. No good. Bears have the ball less than a minute. What can you do? Now you got time to think about the miss.
Yeah. Well, here's the hold. The snap.
Good.
Hold looks good. You got laces. This ball is just hooking left from the beginning. You don't even see it. You don't even have to see it, the finish of it. You can just see the reaction.
And Arthur Blank's reaction.
Yeah, kind of blank. 2 weeks in a row, a heartbreaker for the Falcons. Mike Vick does his job getting the team down there.
Still first down.
Yeah.
And then today, the 50-yarder he missed, and then the 45.